live.
Yay.
Welcome to Season 2,
Hello.
Session 7 of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I am Gigerman, today's
Hi,
GM.
Gigerman.
Avast,
matey.
This session's audio will be made available as a podcast. God help you. See the description for details.
a cast.
Who's not drinking
Must.
rum?
I am not drinking rum.
I am
You should
drinking
drink-
coffee.
Nor am I.
Drink more rum.
I still got a little bit of water in the water bottle.
All right. Nosh, do you have any character business for Lieutenant Rogers? Lieutenant Rogers, excuse me.
He's all like, wait, I have a character?
He has gone silent.
Have I gone silent? Can you hear me?
Temporarily? Anything?
I hear you.
Nothing. No character business.
Campeche, do you have any character business for Sir Randall?
Monkey business.
As usual.
You can't
Actually,
do
I'm pretty
monkey
sure that's my job.
business. Yeah, only Davino can do monkey business
Oh,
until I
oh,
put
something that-
points into animal handling monkey and seduces monkey away.
Heresy.
Wait, that sounds bad.
It really does.
Ronki, do you have any character business for Captain Hayden?
Negative.
Mel, do you have any character business for Claude?
Nope.
Rigel Kent, do you have any character business for Dr. Spencer?
Not today. Maybe later.
Hendrikus, do you have any character business for Davino?
Wait, who's
Negative.
Davino?
He's that other guy that sometimes shows up. And sometimes he doesn't.
He belongs to the monkey.
Right.
He's the
monkey-
He's the
uh,
monkey's ally.
Yeah.
All right, well, GM business then. And
Uh-oh.
Today in random, apparently that whole megaphone thing where you're speaking across the other ship, it's called a trumpet, apparently. I know I was trying to remember what the hell it was called last week. Next bit. So with the stability thing, you guys, I had intended to actually tell you somewhere in the session last week that Furlong's being snippy toward the end of the voyage was actually the result of a critical failure on his resistance to instability.
I kind of figured it was an instability thing because it came
Yeah.
right after the instability roll.
Indeed. Anyway, yeah, he crit failed. He rolled an 18 and rolled a 4 on 1d6 for, so he got 4 long-term stability points out of that.
So he's going to be off gambling in a whore and while we're here.
He is going to attempt to de-stress, but we'll get to that later. So, next bit. Twice now, I've intended to get back to Spencer so he could retcon the fact that he didn't get the chance to ask somebody standing around about the crazy guy that went and threw himself at Dora's feet.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the crazy guy, but I forgot to.
So we're just going to get that out of the way here.
Wibbly wobbly.
What question were you specifically
Who
going to ask?
was he?
Just who the hell he was, yeah.
Yeah, and see if I could try to figure out how he knew Dora.
So what Spencer will have
Explorer.
determined in short is that this guy had been picked up out of the sea about 10 years prior. And ever since then, he has not spoken so much as mumbled incoherently and that sort of thing. They all considered him mad, and he basically was a professional panhandler ever since then.
I think that's a career in Warhammer Fantasy.
I believe it is. Yeah, so nobody knew exactly where he came from or why he was nuts. And they were all very surprised when he said words. And also nobody knew who the hell Dora was. They all kind of assumed she must be some kind of witch or something.
What? No, she's not a witch. She doesn't have a hat.
Well, you did
And the
do
nose is all wrong.
Well, we can always see if she floats in water.
Next bit. What I want to do here is have everybody make a retroactive. Everybody except Claude make a retroactive observation roll.
Well, that seems bad for Claude. Right. So I guess I have to do perception. We doing this in the box or open?
Open's fine.
Ah,
Wow.
Somebody saw something.
Okay. How appropriate that it ends up being Spencer.
who will probably later forget about it.
Spencer happened to spot Claude nicking the bag of stones from Mikkel's Scarab on the night you guys captured him. Unfortunately, it didn't occur to me at the time to actually make somebody check. So now somebody knows that somebody's got sticky fingers.
Luckily for Claude, it's Spencer's, so he will probably forget about it
Next bit.
or get her to teaching. Wait, he actually has sleight of hand, so
Actually, now that I think about it, is that right? It is not. So I ran into a small issue last week. I was not up to date on what the actual statistics would be on the cockboat that comes with your ship, and have since then decided we will use the Jolly Boat out of low tech for that, which means it has an occupancy of 6 + 2. You can row it at a maximum of 4.5 miles an hour if you wear yourself out in the process, and it can sail at 6 miles an hour, which I should have. No, I did. For the record, that is the boat,
that's a boat, all right.
and it does have a sail, which is something that didn't occur to me at the time.
Also known as the banana hammock.
Well, yes,
It
I
is yellow.
suppose. I don't think anyone actually calls it that. Next bit. There was some discussion here and there about selling the 4-pound guns. I was going to inform you now that you can generally sell them. According to GURPS prices, they would end up being 16 pounds each. According to some historical prices that I have, it's about half that, so 8 pounds. So we will go with the 8 pounds. And that is
Did we
just
want
going
to
to be
sell both of them? I think we had two, right?
4.
Four.
Now, you guys didn't officially sell them. I'm just letting you know how much they're going to be worth as a baseline.
Because we have, 8 cannons total now? I don't
You
know.
do have
we
a
don't have the crew for
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. So if we sell at least 2 of them for now,
That's true. You could sell not all of them. That is,
Yep.
yeah.
So
Anyway.
that's gonna be my goal. I think this week I'm gonna try to sell 2 of them,
Next bit.
and I want to bring Davino along just to watch him sob as I'm selling these guns.
but yeah, because he's named
That
them
that
already.
hurts.
He's already named them, given them.
You
pet
can't
We
names.
got
sell.
Bess and Bertha.
You can't sell Bess and Bertha, can't I?
Ew, that's a good point. You need to name those guns.
No, Davino needs to name those guns.
I do mean Davino.
He has
So
homework.
last session, we had
They
the
have to be
issue
properly
of the,
Italian. or
That's true. They had to
Phoenician,
be
but
Italian names. You guys had the spoilage of provisions
Yes.
in the process, and
Guess what
I
the
had
selling of
revealed
the
that
guns is going
Thanks,
to?
I kind of screwed up on that and didn't properly track out where you were in the case of the provisions. So I, in the process of attempting to rectify that, decided that I had no idea what the hell I was doing before, and so basically what's going to happen is you guys are more or less zeroed once you got here. So you can start over from scratch when it comes to provisions.
And I think we want to avoid bananas, I believe.
Bananas are bad luck.
Right.
All right, now the PA
Anyone got
resistance.
superstitious as their thing? I mean, I know some of the
some of the
crew.
crew go.
Yeah, some of the crew do.
Two
Not
big questions.
superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
You're just mildly stitious.
Actually, I'm not even that.
So, question number 1. We need to establish where we're going next.
I need
Like,
to go
for
to
real this
Antigua.
time. I know I have pointed out that we need to be thinking about it, but now we need to actually figure it out.
Well, have we been getting more tracking points for Claude's
Good point.
treasure, for lack of a better term? And
Well, let's see.
also-
You are going to have a better triangulation on that location, and it seems like your original indications are probably correct that it is
Curacao.
Curacao.
Well, we could do
So-
that, but then we also have the
Well,
Grand
Hayden
Cayman
has
on the way.
Henry Murphy and Old Providence thing.
Yep. Kind of do the
There.
jump to Grand Cayman and then jump down.
I'm still not 100% sure if I'm going to follow up on what Rush
Uh-huh.
said because, well,
I was going to
don't
mention that.
really trust him.
And also, in the case of Grand Cayman, you don't necessarily have anything to find out there. I don't know, but
Okay. Well, then we can go
you
straight
might.
to Old Providence.
Now, having said that, the next point I was going to bring up was that the trade winds are blowing in that general direction all the time. So basically, when you are on your way back toward the east, you are going against the wind, and that means you will probably not want to go a straight shot in an easterly direction. Therefore, if you are, for example, sailing around the end of Yucatan in an attempt to go down to Old Providence, then you will end up tacking quite a bit. And also, in the case of Old Providence, crap, I accidentally somehow managed to put myself in frickin' drawing mode. That is going to be a long trip. So
Good one, Mark.
you guys went from Havana to Campeche in around 4 or 5 days. You can expect going back toward the east around Yucatan and down to Old Providence to take a week plus. So the reason I bring that up is in the event that you want to actually go to Grand Cayman, just to break it up, or somewhere else along the way.
There's also Santiago, but that you said we'd be going against the wind for a lot longer in that case.
Yeah, that would be true. So you could end up going south to Providence and then back north to Santiago in the same amount of time it'd take you to go straight there.
Yeah. And then there's still the Damien Rush bit,
Mhm.
depending on what Spencer.
So
would
there's
like.
that. If he decides
We
to
might
go
just
there.
have to. We might just have to do that just for
But what if I don't?
supplies.
What if I don't want to go there because I don't trust him?
Well, we might just go there to resupply. I don't know how much stuff is going to be Old Providence.
True. Oh, now, yeah, Old Providence is a very small community, and Portobello is very not small. Not Havana big,
So-
but getting close.
So pick up whatever gears we can fully load up on. Because I don't know if. I guess this is probably one of the bigger spots on this side.
Which one?
Campeche.
Oh, Campeche. Actually, Veracruz is the big one, which
That
is
is
further
Veracruz.
in.
Oh, inland, or on the other side.
I
Oh,
want to go to
I see
Costa
it.
Rica.
Costa Rica is going to involve some walking.
Oh,
right.
right. Yeah, that's just me in real life. Sorry.
Well,
Carry on.
actually, could we just take the river up and then walk? Because then it's a lot closer.
Yeah,
Less walk.
depends. So one other point that you don't have a pin in is in the
Why not?
process of making your way eastward, you might consider stopping back in Kingston, since that's effectively your headquarters. But having said that, you have 3 locations in the east to go to. You've got San Juan, you've got Curacao, and potentially Antigua. And so far, that's what you've got marked. So now we need to establish an itinerary. And that being a flexible one, because who the hell knows what you're going to discover between here and there.
Yeah, we could all die here in a little bit
Totally true.
with a bloody flux.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, right?
You're about to go into the jungle. You know it's in the jungle.
Sweet.
Monkeys.
More
There are
Mean
monkeys.
misery?
in the jungle.
Oh man, Boom's gonna be like, I don't want to go back. I've found my place.
Boom's going to command the ship and take off
No, he's gonna take over and command all of the monkeys.
on the ship. Oh,
We
wouldn't
could
that be
all have
funny?
monkeys.
That's racist.
You come back. You come back from the expedition, and the friggin' ship's just taken over by monkeys.
That would be weird. We need to give Boom weirdness magnet.
Oh no,
Oh, yes.
No, it's a terrible idea.
I don't think he has the points for it though.
Not yet.
And that's how Planet of the Apes started.
I know, right?
Anywho, so for starters, what will be the next destination? And I'm half assuming that it's going to be the obvious one.
Well, I guess
What's the
something to
obvious
note
one?
is there stuff here that we could bring to Providence that's worth trading? I know we have some trade goods right now.
Ah,
No, we don't have
actually,
anything.
you do not have
Yeah,
any trade goods
I
at the
thought we
moment.
did.
I
No.
sold them.
Did we? It says
Yeah.
oh minus okay, we sold them in Havana.
Yep.
All right, never mind. I missed that entry.
That was a late addition because I forgot to write it in.
Ah, so it didn't miss it, it just wasn't there.
Would it be faster to go there and then use the trade winds to go to Old Providence?
No, it would not. No, like I said, if you were to go straight to Santiago, it would be faster to go to Providence first and then Santiago. Now, remember here that Santiago is another one of those maybe points. I don't know if Davino actually wants to go there and find out anything.
We'd have to like move like that if I'm correct, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, effectively.
Well, we're gonna have to do that everywhere we go.
Well, until we go straight south. So we'd have to kind of do that and then
Yeah, we go.
that.
You should do that. Go to Grand Cayman, do the thing for Dora, then go south, do the Hayden thing.
I'm down with
Everybody
that.
dies.
Yeah, that should be a Dora loyalty mission. Now that I think about it. All right. Any we got a proposed and seconded.
Make it so.
'Cause, I mean, at least we'd be sitting there along the coast of Cuba. So
Sure,
if we
you would be
needed
close
it,
there.
if we needed
And,
something happened, we could go joink right back into Cuba.
I forget the name of the bay here, but there are a few towns on the southern side of Cuba there that are the places where you go when you're smuggling to Havana, and you don't want to pull into Havana, and so you take your stuff across the mountains and walk it in.
No, we sell it
I
to
am
people
an
who take it
upright
across the
citizen. I would never do that.
We sell it to people who take it across the mountain.
Or that. Okay, so assuming that we have point 1 and point 2 here, what is point 3?
Well, depending, that gets a little more curious, either depending on Spencer's state of mind.
Yeah, I'm.
But that's
still
also,
debating.
but that's also a big port. So if we get a lot of stuff, that might be
Mhm.
a really great place to stop in at and get a lot of goods to.
It is
say,
Spanish,
go-
so you would have to skirt the law a bit
Now,
to get anything
question
there.
about that: is there a way to get a right of trade of something like?
No, Britain. For Britons, the only authorized English trade is through the South Sea Company. They have an exclusive contract to trade with very specific Spanish ports at very specific times.
Could
Now,
look like
I
that.
said, smuggling is actually rife around here. People do this all the time, so you probably don't consider it a huge deal to be smuggling, but it does require a little extra, I don't know, risk.
Hmm. But yeah, I suppose we can at least lean towards Portobello and buy a bunch of mushrooms, and I can decide then whether I'm gonna
True.
deal with his silliness or run away and go, "Oh, sorry, I lost your ring."
You
You're
could
wearing
go
it.
there and not do
Oh,
the thing.
I completely thought I lost it.
All right, so clearly, Com Junkie has gotten into his arrow habit again.
Woo!
Yep. You know what this really needs is some more arrows.
All right, now,
I'm on it.
if you are going from Portobello to Jamaica, then you could have a reasonable expectation of some profit in that particular voyage, depending on how much you bankroll that for.
Speaking of bankroll,
Now, so anybody have a problem going to Portobello?
Nope,
I
we
assume
want to
not.
get a hold full of mushrooms.
Right.
yeah,
Not gonna
yeah,
let
I
that
love
go.
me some portobellos.
So that is 1, 2, 3. That's destination 3. So anybody have any issues going back to Kingston? You guys don't have any plot related stuff there, but it is quote unquote home.
I want to go there and run into one of Sir Randall's family members that happens to be there, like a brother or a young sister or something like that.
Oh, that would be
Maybe his
hilarious.
dad.
You use your weird coincidence thing and make it happen. Oh,
I'm gonna find out he's been disowned or something.
wait.
Nobody else has any input on that. Call that number 4.
Always go
All
back
right.
to Cuba.
So the only one that has anything in Santiago is Palange at the moment. So does Palange
At
want
the
to go to
moment.
Santiago, or
I mean, if we're getting pretty close to it, then if they're fine with making a stop there, then sure.
okay?
See, we're gonna say this is our route for the next couple sessions, and then we're gonna completely change it up on the GM.
Mhm. Oh, I know
Where the
there's at
hell
least
is
one or
Kingston?
two new things that may come up in between here and there. So I know it's going to change, but we have to have a starting point.
Is it Kingston or Port Royal that you're thinking?
Kingston.
Yeah. Where is
Port-
Kingston?
Port Royal is sunk. It is
Oh,
where
so
the
this map
that's
is
right.
wrong.
Gotcha.
Oh, well, I mean, they still reference Port Royal. It is still a thing. It's just nobody really lives there.
Well, I don't see Kingston written on the map, so that's why I was like confused.
I don't remember what the date on this map is.
Wrong. It's wrong. That's what it is.
Okay, so we got number 4, Kingston, number 5, Santiago de Cuba, and number 6, logically, would be Curacao.
Yep. Unless something happens, like all of a sudden, like LaCroix starts having like some migraines, forcing us to race to our next spot.
Yeah,
Or
well,
head explodes or something like that.
Well, if her head explodes, then it's going to be. Well, I guess that would. Be
Not sure if I
tragic.
can fix that.
New
on the
character.
fly changes are to be
New
expected.
character. She could be the monkey.
True.
Man, could you imagine a 200 point or 185 point monkey?
Ugh.
That would be
Oh.
pretty cool,
The
actually.
nonsense we could get up to.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, that would be
It's like having a
crazy,
druid in the party.
right?
Now there is the potential there. You have, I think that's Port-au-Prince, in Saint-Domingue over there. So if you wanted to hit up a decent sized French port on the way, you could also hit there. Other than that, you go to Curacao, and presumably after that, San Juan. There are
Or-
some biggish Spanish towns in the south there too that you could hit if you wanted. Cartagena might be a decent spot for that,
That's wait.
unless I'm forgetting where that is. That may be over.
I think that's in Colombia.
Yeah,
that
I
not
think
in
that's
Colombia?
the other direction. No, yeah.
No. It's right there. I
Cartagena's
see
over
it.
there.
Yep, I see it.
Based on
Yeah,
my
it's wrong way.
preliminary web search, it looks like this map is actually circa 1720.
I seem to recall it was pretty close. Yeah, and like I said,
Although-
they do still refer to Port Royal there. The Navy is stationed at Port Royal, even though there's nothing but a fort and a handful of buildings.
It's just odd that they wouldn't refer to Kingston.
Yeah, I know.
Bloody British. Wait, we're British. Never mind.
Bloody, but that just means we can say it. Oh, it's gonna be a pain in the butt getting up out of here, isn't it? Well, we'll tack north, I guess. and then tack south.
All right. So, do you want to make any stops after Curacao before going to San Juan?
Mm,
Maybe.
that's a bit out there.
Save that
Yeah,
question
that's
for
a
later.
ways away.
That is going to be a while. Okay. After that, all you've got left on your current docket is Antigua and potentially Brazil, but you still don't have any further information, which you expect you will end up getting in San Juan.
Yep.
For
Make it
now, we will
so.
consider the last one to be Antigua, which
Until it's
technically you
not.
could leave from there if you wanted. Back to the continent. Okay, so that, I suppose, is going to be our itinerary for the future,
Until it's not.
tentatively. Now, that was question 1. Question 2 is one that we really should have asked last week, and that is, what the hell are you doing in Campeche? We know what Payne's doing, but nobody else has anything going here.
I'm looking for like a library or something.
And I don't mean any specific, like the usual stuff like trade and I'm gonna run around and work. I mean,
knowing we're going to be here for a while, I want to try to start
and that
to improve my area knowledge.
right.
Caribbean.
Ah,
Maybe
that
learn about the
being my
engines.
point. We've been to places along the way where nobody's had anything in specific to do, and that's not a big deal. But you've been passing through, whereas Campeche, we don't know how long we're going to be here, and that is a sub question of this question 2 is, how long do you tell the crew that you're going to be here in Campeche?
I don't know. How long are we going to be here, Sir Randall?
I don't know.
That is kind of a Sir Randall question.
As long as it takes. I mean, this is the. He's expecting this to be the culmination of his search, and and he would make it clear to the crew that there's potential riches abounding at the end of the trail.
Yeah, everybody knows about that. Well, actually,
So
I may not know about that.
I would figure at least there'd be some excitement about. Oh, wait,
Well, staying
riches?
here isn't a huge problem for them. I mean, that means they're not working, but they need to know how long they're going to be here because they're going to have to get lodging.
I don't know.
All right, so
I really have no idea how long we're going to be here.
We'll be
But,
here as
like,
long as it takes for
that's
the
it.
arrest warrants to come out for us for the shenanigans that we're
Right?
undoubtedly going to commit.
I don't know what you're talking about with this shenanigans business.
all right, well,
I estimate a day or 2 tops before we're arrested.
We're not Irish.
Right.
Sounds
A
like
day then.
a part of me is offended by that statement. So
Why? You're not Irish either.
part of me is Irish. So the partners are going to have to come up with a number for how long to stay.
Minimum of
So-
a week.
Yeah, I'd say probably. Yeah. that's a good
Maximum
call.
of 2 weeks.
Let's,
hopefully.
Let's break down the facts that we have. I
These are the
believe
facts
Sir
as we know
Randall
it.
Sir Randall is going to be aware that there's going to be some kind of jungle trekking, based on his readings of Neville's journal. And I don't recall how much information he had on the Belay expedition, but he probably will have had the basics on that. So, if you allow for a week's trek into the jungle, and that would allow a week back, we may be talking 2 here.
Okay. Well, if
Beyond
that's what-
that, you're also going to have to prepare for this trek,
Mhm.
and searches typically take a week, but you don't necessarily expect to take that long. I mean, how long does it take to gather up some provisions? But you don't know what else you're going to need necessarily.
Well, so a couple days to prepare and gather our stuff. A week out at the least, and a week back, you say? So call it more than
Good Lord,
two,
are we
less
gonna
than
be
3.
here? We're gonna be here like 3 weeks. Wow.
We
Could
should
be.
lay off the whole crew just so the GM has to make new NPCs when we hire more crew.
Well, who's to say they're going to be there when you get back?
And any new crew are gonna be suspiciously similar to the old crew.
Uh-huh. All right.
So when we
I mean, we'd
are the crew
offer,
going to get
obviously-
paid?
I would,
Go
I would say that if they join us on the expedition, I would probably promise some part of the treasure. I mean, why would I not give them a chance to help?
as far as I was aware, they were entitled to a share.
Well, and then
one
that's fine
share.
too. So,
Is
there
it
you go.
normal for the crew to get paid while we're held up somewhere?
And that's something else we need to bring up.
They are being paid. Well, we'll get to that, but they are being paid. They got paid a month in advance, and then the rest of it was due at the end of the 6-month period. So they're getting paid what they're getting paid, whether they're sailing or not. But they're also not getting it until the 6 months is over. And that includes Claude, by the way.
Claude, like, I would get some money back. How much money did Sir Randall have before Claude borrowed some of it?
Okay.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, so stay on the outlier. It's like 3 weeks then, probably, possibly.
I guess actually Spencer would probably be the one to break that down. But yeah. Okay, so we'll say that you're telling the crew to expect maybe 3 weeks.
Yep.
And that's a reasonable starting point.
Make sure they're also aware that apparently Sir Randall's perfectly fine for them accompanying us into the jungle to find the treasure, and such like that if they so desire. Which most of them will probably get. F that noise. You can die in the jungle.
Die in the ocean too.
Yeah, well, if you take everybody into the jungle with you, nobody's going to be watching the ship. So there's
Well, I'm
that,
sure
that
that
to
not
think of as well.
everyone's going to want to go in.
No,
And
absolutely not.
So really, with those guys, their role at that point would be securing the ship and keeping it, from running off without us.
Or
Right.
keeping
Well,
it themselves and putting Idris Elba in charge.
Well, that would be an interesting and unfortunate event. Hey,
For
we got the
everybody
gold.
else.
Yeah, we got the gold and no ship to take it anywhere. Great.
Oh, but if you got
Idris
enough gold,
Elba
you can
is
get a new
canceling
ship.
the apocalypse.
he may have to cancel the apocalypse. All right. So those are the two big questions more or less answered, which means one other thing that I will go ahead and mention because Com Junkie brought it up is there will be a discussion later about whether or not everybody's getting reimbursed for their hotel stays and whatnot out of company funds.
No,
But
and that's just the leadership side, right?
just the partners who are not getting paid a regular wage. But we will defer that conversation until after this particular expedition is resolved, because once it's over, if you guys succeed, it's going to change the
We can buy
landscape
our own
considerably.
ships.
So be aware that conversation is coming, but not yet. And with that, I will move some images around. Harbor log, Saturday, February 24th, 1725. Campeche, Yucatan. It is warm and overcast with intermittent light rain and a strong breeze increasing from the southwest. Having arrived safely in Campeche half a day ahead of their quarry, the expedition is settling in to figure out what to do next. And in case someone is confused, that does mean we are backtracking just a hair.
I'm always confused.
Well, It happens. All right, so first order of business is Rogers needs to make a will roll. I believe you guys had a +1 for that.
Oh, will roll.
Indeed, because he's Will. I hesitate to call him Will Rogers because that means something around here.
Yeah, that is a little different than William Rogers.
I also hesitate to call him Buck Rogers because that just seems a little too on the nose. All right, so that was Rogers' stability roll for the voyage that the player missed. And he did not gain any looniness during the voyage, so good for you.
Excellent.
Actually, you would have had another +2 on that because you have Born Sailor, I believe. All right, so
Mariner.
we have had the conversation about what everybody's doing here on the meta level. The next part of that question is, what is your next actual step here? Because I don't think we really established that. So as far as I know, or can think of off the top of my head, Sir Randall is the only one with stuff to do here. And the only stuff that he has is the compass and the riddle, and that's basically it. And some basic knowledge of what previous expeditions have attempted.
So is this for the thing that we're trying to find, or just in general?
In general. So now we're getting to the what are you actually going to do? So all the rest of the partners may not necessarily be directly involved in what Sir Randall's doing, but they also don't have anything in specific that they need to do on their own, so they could just all pitch in and help however they're going to do that.
Right. Yeah, if not pulled in for like research and or translation purposes, I think, like I said, Spencer's going to be trying to get learn better about the area to eventually improve area knowledge, and maybe also try to find out stuff about the locals, the natives, just because he's vaguely curious about that sort of thing.
Okay, so Sir Randall has typed that he will be dealing with the letter situation, which we also have to deal with. Research and prep for the expedition, which will probably include whatever the compass and riddle, etc., points to, and then go from there. So next step in this case would be the letter first, and then the compass and whatnot. Anybody else? I haven't heard from.
Everybody's so quiet. Start
Now
talking, people.
this is outside your SOP, and if you don't have anything going, I'm just going to assume SOP here and move on.
I think for Claude was going to assist with the letter stopping and then SOP until something happens.
Okay.
That will be pretty much the same for him.
And for Davina as well.
And Rogers will also just keep an eye out on the docks for any strange ships, interesting ships.
Okay.
Otherwise, in town.
Rogers player still hasn't pitched in on the whole SOP thing, so we don't know what his SOP actually is.
He's
just
a big
some basic.
slacker. He was so
I know
busy
that, right?
in Cuba.
Okay, so what have we missed? So
Cuba's asking where the rum's gone.
made a bunch of rolls. We don't need to do that all now. And so to recap slightly, actually, let me do a thing first. You guys arrived in Campeche about 30-40 minutes before sundown. You noted some ships in the harbor and decided to go over to meet with the Fortune, whose captain is James Button, and Hayden went over to talk to him while the rest of you took on a pilot who was going to guide you to an anchorage from which you could escape easily if you needed to. One thing we did not actually sort out in that process was who had the boat. So because Haydn was going to need to go over to the Fortune and then come back, he probably took the cockboat with him, which means you guys don't have one.
Oh,
Therefore, when you took on the pilot said, "Oh, you guys don't have a cockboat. You're going to need something to actually get ashore with." So he got with his guy that brought him over and took a boat from him, and you guys are basically towing an extra boat on the way back when you go in to anchor.
our
Let's
captain
see
stole our
here.
boat. The nerve.
As stated, it has been raining a little off and on all day, and it's still raining a little off and on, and the winds have been picking up to the point of being kind of squally almost. And the water in the bay is, well, it's not really a bay, but the water has been getting nice and choppy as a result. So one question again about the boat is, did Haydn take any crew with him over to the Fortune? Because otherwise he's going to be rowing that thing by himself.
He's the captain. He's not going to row it by himself.
Just grab
Yeah,
one of the
people.
crew
I wouldn't expect that,
or a couple of the crew.
actually.
He'll ask for volunteers.
And then pick some people.
All right, so let's see here. We need captain in the boat. How many are you going to take?
How many people is normally required to effectively row this thing?
Well, it normally crews 6, so, but if you take all the non-NPC crew, you've got only the remaining PCs aboard the ship to actually sail it to the anchorage. So that's probably not great.
So
You
two
usually go
crew?
with, you're usually going to go with half the crew for a per shift, and you could just use the whatever watch guys you're on with to do that. I forget who's on your watch. So you got 2 PCs on your watch?
I'm not going over there with him. I thought
Well,
we were
no.
going.
But he's got Mogridge and Hoop and Sherd on his watch. So you know that the remaining crew that are there can actually sail the ship without you.
Voila.
We will take the 3. All right.
It's Margaret acting as the NCO.
Yeah. All right. So that is settled. Captain takes half the crew with him, and they will help him row back when he is done.
He stole the boat.
Back to the rest of you who are headed over to the anchorage. And Shared, you will note that you are anchored, or going to be anchored over there.
That's really far away.
It is some distance from town, not quite a mile, but it's not that far from shore overall, which is
See.
not too bad.
See, Mark is going to want to sneak over there to the La Dame Blanche and sabotage it, because that's what Mark does.
That would not surprise me terribly.
Oh, have the rudder go bad at in an opportune time. Not
Or they just
like
shoot you.
On the
nothing
other hand,
catastrophic, but enough to delay them and shorten the.
there's nothing to actually delay them from, so
Right. There's no reason to do it right now.
What are you talking about? They're all probably already at the Treasury. You're going to have to write that letter.
all right, so you guys are without any cargo at this point and basically down to nothing on provisions. So you're riding about as high as you'll ever see her ride, and you can easily get in that close, possibly closer if you really wanted to push yourself.
Oh, I forgot.
ahead.
Number 1, I need to add the selling of those 2 bigger guns.
And I do
Oh,
have to add selling of the blade as well.
Right. So yes, Sir Randall is starting to feel the pinch of his purse being a bit light, and has been
not
considering
light,
ways to
Jim.
solve that. Let's see. So what else do we need to deal with here? Oh, right. I was going to mention that. Forgot to mention before that as you're sailing into Campeche, one of the things you'll notice is that there are quite a lot of ships being built here. They have a fairly serious shipyard going on, which confused the crap out of me for quite a while because given the shallowness of this area, how the hell did they pull off building frigates here? And I did ultimately find the answer, and the answer is they build it halfway and then tow it 11 miles off friggin' shore and then finish it there.
That's interesting.
So, not only will you see the skeletons of a number of ships being built on shore, you'll see a number of skeletons being finished offshore. It is a fairly active shipyard, so they build quite a bit here.
That's interesting. That's just thinking
Yeah.
of, that's really, really inefficient because
They're very
thinking of
vulnerable out there.
Yeah, well, they're vulnerable out there, and then you also have to transport all of the frickin' the lumber and such like that. It's like,
Yep, exactly. It would be a huge pain in the butt, but they do it, so there you go.
so weird.
So as you guys are getting set, the crew has been discussing amongst themselves about lodgings and that sort of thing. You guys had mentioned that you're going to be here for probably 3 weeks, so they are going to need to find something semi-permanent. But for the night, at least, they can just grab the nearest thing and see what they can make of it. So Mr. Bold has been organizing things a little bit. He has been including Mr. Lacroix in that organization, and you guys are going to end up at the indicated area. This is one of the barrios outside of town, so it's not the ritziest place, but you guys don't stay in ritzy places anyway. It's probably going to keep the rain off.
Probably.
So, having said that, that means that they are currently going to be lodging about a third of a mile away from the ship, so well within sight of it, and that's good. Having said that, this is a quote-unquote hostile port. Therefore, you guys will be setting a watch per SOP. So, how do you want to do the watch? You want one guy, two guys? How often you want to rotate?
2 is 1, 1 is none.
Two guys. How do you want to do the shifts on that?
What's normal?
Actually, you've only got 6 crew that aren't PCs, plus 1. You could potentially get Dora to do a shift, I
We're
suppose,
not gonna
but
have Dora do a shift.
your standard.
Aiden is also a workaholic, so he's probably going to automatically
true.
presume he's part of the watch rotation.
You could actually put those PCs on a watch rotation too. That would make some sense.
And Davino's going to be on there, caressing the guns, going, "I'm sorry, he's going to sell you. I'm so sorry."
So normal shifts are like 4 hours a piece, but given that you only need 2 on at a time, you can get away with shorter shifts. What'd that be if you just did it straight up like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 2 hours a piece.
There you go.
If everybody were on. No, I don't think for example, Sir Randall is not going to take a shift probably.
Probably not. He won't volunteer. Let's just say he won't volunteer.
On the other hand, you guys could just go ahead and set it at 2 hours and just let the rotation be what it is.
Yep.
So
we'll probably get sucked into one because
seconded. Or I guess that's Captain Hayden's decision, I suppose.
Make it so.
All right, 2-hour
Okay.
shifts. We'll randomize who's on what, but that'll work. Probably be 1 PC per shift, unless you've got some overflow. Next question is, since given the situation and the hostility, the potential hostility of the port, will the officers be taking up lodgings in generally the same area as the rest of them? It may be slightly less than they're used to. Or shall you seek better lodgings closer in to the city?
Well, that would depend on who I can schmooze with, and if I can be invited
I'm not
as a
including
guest.
Sir Randall in that.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming that Sir Randall is going to look for better lodgings elsewhere.
Because that's how he plays man.
I have status to uphold.
Indeed.
Yeah, I don't really have a preference, so I may end up being close, may not.
How about let's assume that you guys are going to lodge in the same place as the rest of the crew, unless you say otherwise. Any objections to that?
You can't see it, but I'm totally giving you a thumbs up.
No other comments?
Negative
Going,
on
gone.
objections.
All right.
Yeah, no objections.
Fair enough.
People are so quiet.
I just don't know why.
I have a side question relating to the sleeping arrangements. Is up until now, for some reason, it just hasn't really occurred to me to ask, where is Dora sleeping when she's on shore? Because she doesn't have any money. So what I decided in that regard was that Dora typically will end up sleeping on the ship, unless somebody invites her or decides to provide her with some lodgings elsewhere. And of course, she can't speak to complain about it.
Yeah, well, I guess since she's mostly hanging around Spencer, he's probably not even, and he doesn't think much about money. He's probably going to be willing to cover that, which will just totally cause Sir Randall even more delusions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the assumption will then be that Spencer is going to cover her expenses.
Unless she wants to sleep on the ship.
There are probably some days where she just ends up going and sleeping on the ship regardless, and she seems perfectly happy to do so. But there are some times when she'll take you up on whatever you're doing as well. I assume that is a separate room.
Yeah, presumably.
Which will no doubt cause Sir Randall to comment.
I'm a gentleman.
So, with regard to Sir Randall,
I'm not Roger's level. And besides, I have someone that I don't need to do what I normally do.
Well, now you do. So, on the ride over with the pilot, as mentioned before, the pilot had been going on and on about politics and local politics and that sort of thing. And as you no doubt will have asked him about Don Marco Enrique Agramonte, or
who's that?
His cousin specifically, who is Jose Herman Agramonte, is the alcalde of this town. He's effectively mayor. And that mayor is also I suppose it's unofficial, Lieutenant Capitan General of Yucatan. So the pilot will have informed you, one, of the location where one might find him, that being his hacienda in town, and two, that he is often away on business and is half expecting that he is probably gone at the moment. So
would lead
when
Sir Randall to discover that.
When Sir Randall goes ashore to check it out, he will go to the indicated location, and the servants there will tell him that indeed the mayor has gone off to Merida, the capital of Yucatan, to do business there, and they expect him back within the week, possibly Monday, today being Saturday.
Right. Well,
you will also note in that process that a number of people have referred to Inara as your girl.
Well, they aren't wrong.
Which is making it, in case anyone doesn't understand what that means, is that she doesn't look status 2, so they think she's his servant.
Oh, well, that I guess has to change. That's why I'm selling the sword.
Indeed. So, having said all that, we will close out day 1, and I will give you guys one final opportunity to decide if you want to do something in specific overnight other than guard duty.
I have nothing in mind.
I do have a question for the crew.
Play
With
my
regards to the letter,
music lunch.
and I probably should have brought this up earlier, how much risk do we want to put into stopping this letter, knowing that this could cause us all potential problems if it gets into the hands of the leadership here? Because on one hand, we have really nothing to we have no evidence against us other than the letter to say that we're smugglers or pirates. If they came onto our ship and inspected it, there's not even a glancing blemish on this ship to show that we even fired the cannons outside of training. There's no markings, we don't even have a flag, nothing that would.
We do have a flag.
Well, you know what I mean, like something that would stand us out as pirates, I would assume. I mean, the ship's not been in combat, so there's not even combat damage on it.
Well, a good pirate's not going to have any combat damage anyway, but just for assembling all the facts together, you know that legally, even just a letter may be enough to warrant something if they decide that, because, laws being what they are in this time period, just the accusation might be enough. Although, if you got into a protracted legal situation, you would eventually come out and be able to say, well, there is no actual evidence of this, and sometimes that's good enough, but that can also take a lot of money and a long time to get out of the legal system.
Right.
Not unlike the modern period. So there is still going to be some risk if the letter gets out, but you do know that the mayor is not currently in town, so the urgency is somewhat less. However, once the captain gets ashore, you don't know what his schedule is or where he's going, so you kind of need to figure that out early.
Right. And
Which
one
you
of my
will.
thoughts is doing the meet and greet on the docks and doing the oops and in the drink he goes with the letter and whatever else that gets hopefully damaged.
Or whatever.
Or you could just bribe him.
So, having said that, the Sir Randall was putting that question to the partners, I assume, probably minus Hayden, who is not there currently. Although, I guess you could have done that when everybody was ashore.
Well, we had a long trip to get here,
Mhm.
so figure Hayden would definitely be involved because, again, this is the ship, and we risk all the craziness that comes with an accusation.
So, to re-ask the question on ComJunkie's behalf, does anybody have a problem with taking certain risks to get the letter?
Yeah, that's one of those. It's like I don't know if we want to. Depends on how far we want to push that.
I'm
Because
definitely not thinking anything like life-threatening on the part of the letter carrier or anything like that, because that's a little bit too far. I mean, one thing that occurs to me is if I can ingratiate myself to his staff, whoever staying at his house or whatever, I could even be invited there while he's away and yoink a letter right off the from
Possible.
inside.
if you can find it.
Yeah, if I could find it.
Now, while you guys are considering this question, I will say, for expedience sake, that Claude is probably nearby and can hear them talking about snatching things.
Which
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I would also
But
consider,
she
which I would
can't
also
read,
think
so she can't like go, oh, hey, it's this one.
true, but it puts her, she knows what a letter looks like, and she could always do and, I'm already going out to buy clothes. How fun would it be to buy a outfit for Claude to look like, and obviously look like a servant to Randall and be invited in to the manor to stay as his, I don't know, a Batman
Lackey.
lackey, which brings Claude into the household where she could, or he could, potentially look for the letter or be an extra set of eyes.
Yeah. Claude will pipe up while the discussion is going on and at least offer to follow them and find out where they're staying so that we know that much.
Right.
All right. From Rogers or Hayden, does anybody have any reservations about making a grab here?
No, I fully expected to be arrested in a day or two.
I haven't gotten anybody arrested yet, but there have been opportunities.
Oh, Rogers.
Don't worry, my dice will hold up its end of the bargain.
Rogers firmly believes we can do this.
All right, then. Sir Randall has the blessing of the rest of the partners.
Roger, Roger. We'll proceed to attempt to intercept the letter.
I am going to backtrack slightly because I put my notes in the wrong place. As you guys were getting settled and getting ready to go ashore and get lodgings and stuff, the rest of the crew all grabbed all their laundry, as has been the case when you guys have been staying for longer periods. Mr. Bold has decided that he has to get a new shirt because this one is not going to survive another washing. So he's going to be shopping while ashore. Just a random bit of crew stuff. All right, so you guys have that conversation, and the evening passes. It's kind of a loud night with the wind, but otherwise, the ground doesn't move beneath you.
It doesn't bother me, but maybe takes a bit of reacclimation.
Oh, yeah. Sunday. So, a note about Sunday.
25th February, 1725. Come on, man.
There are certain among the PCs who are Catholics, and this being a Catholic country, and being Sunday, they might have some inclinations in that regard.
Yeah, Davina's probably a filthy papist.
I thought I would mention it in case it hadn't occurred to anyone.
Yeah, Davino probably would go.
Filthy papists.
Rare opportunity to be in a place on a Sunday.
Indeed. Well, you guys get up at sunup or whenever you decide to get up, if you're feeling somewhat less industrious this morning, which, you can get away with it. The exception being those on guard. The skies are overcast in the morning, as the weather from yesterday hasn't fully departed, but the winds have eased somewhat. Oh, forgot one thing.
Come on, man.
How are you spotting the Mercurio coming in? Did you, for example, have one of the guys on watch designated to, or just whoever's on watch to be watching for the Mercurio to arrive? Seems like the logical thing to do.
Yes.
Okay. In the morning, then, somebody is alerted to the fact that the Mercurio has indeed arrived. And let's see. I really should have put that somewhere a little more handy now that I think about it.
Bad GM, bad.
Nope, not that one.
Not that one either.
Did Serrano get a hotel in town, or did he bite it and stay close for the time being.
Probably for the night. Stay close because we're expecting to hear the dude's arrival.
Indeed. And you do indeed. Oh, not Dora. Actually, okay, it is Dora. Yeah, Dora got up this morning and she goes and knocks on Spencer's door and makes the ship sign.
Okay. Yes, there's ship.
And points out there, and you see, in fact, the Mercurio is pulling into port.
Right.
Or, into the... Come on.
Into the thing.
So, you know that Sir Randall was waiting on it to arrive, and there it is.
Right, so I'm going to go knock on Sir Randall and Inara's door. Let him know.
All right. So we'll prepare to step out.
And then I'm going to seriously think about going back to bed.
Nope.
I'm assuming we have time to not have to necessarily rush out there.
Right, so, it takes a long time for the ships are slow. And they've also got to, they're going to have to anchor some distance away and then boat in, so it's going to take a little while. But you do kind of have to get to it. And you were taking Claude with you? I seem to recall.
Yeah, Claude went with him.
I think, given all that, we will take a brief intermission.
How
and
old
get
is
back to it.
Randall?
We will take a brief intermission in a second.
Apparently
I'm curious,
30.
how old?
30?
30? How old is Claude?
Like 15, yeah.
So it is possible that Randall could
Yes.
be her secret dad.
That
Unlikely,
would just
but
be weird.
Daniel, I demand you make this happen.
he's been demanding this for a long time.
I'm not requesting, I am demanding.
I did consider it, but no.
Need drama.
I listen to Mark, he approves.
In the meantime,
It'll be great because neither one of them will know. And how long will it take before they find out?
all right, intermission. Come back. Deal with the upcoming, the results of the cliffhanger from last week.
Wow, we're getting started early for the intermission.
Yay. And so, back to where we left off from the previous week. Sir Randall and Inara and Claude are at the main dock in Campeche, which looks roughly like so. This is an actual drawing, but it's like freaking 100 years later. So it probably doesn't look too different. At any rate, they got the report of the Mercurio arriving, and as they are arriving at the dock, they note that there are two boats leaving from the Mercurio, one of which is currently arriving at the dock, containing the captain, who is bearing parcels of letters and such, and the second boat, which is some distance away, still rowing in. It has another interesting passenger, which Sir Randall has identified as Handsome Ned Long. At that point, apparently Sir Randall has had a reaction to this, and Inara, sensing a disturbance in the force, asks him what's wrong.
Now, is this a scenario where Ned can see us just as easily as we see him?
I would say he's probably about 50, 100 yards out. You recognize him because you've seen him up close.
And you shot him in the
Chances
head
are he
once.
probably could recognize you, but he's not like pointing at you or anything.
He totally needs to point at Randall like body snatchers.
He is not doing this.
That's sad.
Claude.
About how far out is he? Like approximate
Except-
time wise?
Oh, time-wise, I'd say you got 10 minutes.
Since we've been charged with his murder, we should open the gun ports and ensure that he is dead.
Unfortunately, you have to go out to the ship to open the gun ports.
And the Spanish might disapprove.
Well, you see, accused of killing that man. Accused, obviously, since he's very much alive and on his way here. He's caused us nothing but grief since our first encounter. In fact, starting, introducing himself almost nearly as our, soon to be murderer.
I wonder if you've brought him up as a part of your merman tales.
But I don't think he's a merman.
No, but he's an interesting person, I suppose.
I probably have brought him up as the, and there I was accused of murder. But he
Well,
never
you
did.
have restrained your impulsiveness. What was your impulse?
I was going to draw a gun.
Okay. Then, Inara, sensing your tension and hostility, will pat you on the arm and basically say, "Why don't you let me handle this while you keep an eye on him?" And she will advance towards the captain and sort of start helping him as he is climbing up to the jetty.
Gotcha. So she's taking care of the captain for now.
And
Taking
sort
care
of,
the captain.
Whoa.
I'm assuming that
Crazy.
Sir Randall is sort of transfixed on Mr. Long and not paying great attention to what Inara is doing, but he is at least partly going to be interested enough to notice that she is basically telling the councilman, or telling the captain, that she is related to the councilman who is out of town and was sent to fetch the letter for him. And you note that although she is certainly not dressed the part, she seems to be pulling it off rather smoothly.
Well, that's why I'm drawn to her. She's like me, only better, because she's a woman.
You are now aware that she has Smooth Talker at 2.
Hey. No, I have talker. But...
I thought you had Smooth Talker.
Smooth operator.
Smooth Operator, excuse me.
No, I have
Maybe
just
that
talker.
didn't sound right.
I have
Yeah,
talker at
she's
4.
Smooth Operator. She's also got a Allure at 1,
Nice.
which total combined gets her, with her being very beautiful, gets her a 20 in sex appeal.
Holy cow.
Uh-huh. That's with like 1 or 2 points.
I'm aiming
Speaking
high.
of which, I haven't handed off the character yet for you to tweak it, but
That's fine.
we'll get around to that.
Honestly,
At any rate,
you're perfectly fine to do what you need.
so
And then-
Sir Randall is paying half attention while she's doing that, and she comes back to your side while you are still transfixed on Mr. Long. The captain and everybody else that was in the boat moves along without much of a second thought. He says something to Inara as he passes, like, give my regards to your father, yada yada, something like that. Clearly, she did well. All in Spanish, of course.
Well,
And she will tell you that it is done.
She hit the big red button there. That was easy.
And
yeah, right.
She shoves the letter into your jacket.
You never cease to amaze me, my dear. Now,
And in the meantime, this is about how long it takes for the other boat to arrive at the jetty, and it is in the process of throwing the mooring lines over, and
I will meet
and all
him
that.
as they're getting ready to moor, and I'll be like, "So, I see the rumors of your death are greatly exaggerated."
He looks up at you and says, let me rephrase that. He looks up at you like, "Why are you talking to me?" And says, "Who are you again?"
And I will laugh.
What a
It's like,
tweet.
Now, you will also recall that when you spoke to Ufa Holst in Nassau, that he threw some bald-faced lies out there and very nearly pulled it off without you realizing it.
Oh, come, Mr. Long. I mean, Mr. Ufa Hulse, Mr. And then, didn't he go by another name?
You are not aware of another name that he went by.
Okay, no.
So you insist that he knows you?
Well, I will, it's like, I mean, but, I guess you're on some assignment, wink, wink, and while you may not remember me, as, you claim, I do remember you, and I will say that if you wish to keep the rumors of your death only rumors, you will keep some distance from myself and my crew. I hope this is understood.
In his sort of mousy voice that he typically has, he says, I do not know what you're on about, sir, but I would advise you to keep your distance.
As I say.
And he will continue walking as if you're not even there.
Wow, he went through you.
Not quite that much.
Not quite that much. I hope you don't get. I hope nothing impacts your, or messes with your memory any further. Like, say, something. How would I say that? A musket ball, or I'm trying to think of some witty things to say. I say something witty.
I say something witty. I want to use that
roll
in real life.
Roll the dice to see if you say something witty.
What would that be? Fast talk,
I am
probably.
easy. Actually, fast. I think they do have a thing for ridicule, and I think you
I'm
can
gonna
use
use
fast
that
talk
in
for
real
it.
life.
I
I don't
know,
know
right?
what I remember.
I wish
what
I could.
what they're
I
gonna
know.
say.
Right?
I say,
Like,
you know what? I said something witty, so there.
yeah, it's like you're playing a game and you have a bunch of witty lines that come up and you're like, ooh, which one's better?
As
Or you just-
as you turn back to look at him and launch your quip, you see that he has paused briefly while looking directly into the eyes of a strange woman who is further down the docks,
Oh
some
God,
distance.
it's Drusilla.
It's a vampire.
It's a
And
vampire.
you can tell that they've locked eyes, and then she turns around and walks back through the gate.
To eat some people.
I have no idea. From what show?
Buffy.
Oh, what?
Drusilla.
Is that her? I can't.
Yep.
It's been so long since I watched Buffy, though.
It may have been a while.
So Claude is going to kind of, after they exit stage left, Claude's going to
She's gonna chase the
tug on
vampire, get beaten,
tug on
and get
Randall's.
eaten.
Well, he'll tug on Randall's sleeve and say, "You want me to keep eyes on him?"
As long as you do not put yourself in danger, am I clear? He is a very dangerous man.
Claude will just shrug and say, "Yeah, no, nobody pays attention to kids." And
Sure thing, Pa.
Claude will go shadow them and see where they go.
Whatever you say, Dad.
Anyway.
Okay,
Oh man, that would be
it's a
so
thing
weird.
now. It's a
It's
thing
got-
now.
No,
Sorry.
that's what that would be what starts happening is everyone somebody starts the rumors like, have anyone ever noticed that Claude bears a striking resemblance to Randall? And then you start having these weird questions like, how old are you? It's like, the
What do you mean
random
someone starts the rumors?
So basically,
Spencer's
here's
gonna
how it.
retaliate for you constantly, going wink, wink, nudge, nudge around Dora.
So basically, what'll happen is one day Claude's gonna be like toddling off somewhere, and Randall's gonna be like, "Hey, that mole on the back of Claude's neck is in the same spot as a mole that I have on the back of my neck."
What a twist!
How does
So,
he know
yeah.
that?
Every one of his lovers is freaked out about the giant mole on the back of his neck.
Oh, how does Claude know that?
Oh, what? No, I was saying Randall will see that one day.
Oh,
Is like
Claude-
Claude's walking.
Claude can't see the mole on the back of his neck.
Right. Yeah, he's saying Randall
Birthmark, yeah.
sees the mole on the back
Oh,
of Claude's neck.
Sorry.
Come on, GM, wake up.
Yeah, well, I've got other things on my mind right now.
Like how to make her his daughter. son, whatever.
Lieutenant Rogers was leaving the hotel early in the morning to I don't know, wander around. Maybe he was headed out for a shift on the ship or whatever. When he is approached by a well-dressed black fellow,
I was hoping it was the
who
strange woman who's going to eat him.
he finds you and asks you in English if you are from this ship over here, pointing back at the Grace.
Give me a second. No, I don't have body language.
Well, you don't need body language as a skill to be able to read body language, just specific usages of it. You are definitely going to get the servant vibe from this guy.
And why might you wish to know which ship I'm from?
That is the ship of a Sir Randall Payne, is it not? I have a message from my master for him.
Oh, well, I suggest you continue walking on to that ship and deliver your message to whomever you believe is on it.
You do know that the ship is in the water. You cannot walk to it.
I see. Oh, I understand.
Yes, it is at anchor.
Very well. What is the message?
He will hand you a note and say, your Mr. Sorry, brain fart. Sir Randall has been cordially invited to dine with Master Gordon Reed at his hacienda in town this evening.
Excellent. I'll make sure this gets to the individual.
Very well, and good day, sir.
I look at the note. Is it on fine paper? What's it like?
Yeah, it looks pretty spiffy as far as letters go, I guess. There is a seal on it. You don't recognize it.
Oh.
You can make. Well, yeah, I should have made you roll that earlier.
He can try to make. We know how he rolls.
Make
guy's
an
almost as
IQ
bad as
roll.
Claude.
Let's
Make
go
an
with
IQ.
that. All
Yep.
right.
See?
The name Gordon Reed does sound kind of familiar, but you're not able to quite put your finger on it just yet. It'll come to you later.
Okay.
Let's see what's next. Davino has decided to attend mass at the it's not a cathedral yet, technically it's just a big church, but it's just off the main square in town, which is just right on the other side of the docks. So technically you're in kind of the same area as Payne right now, although he's probably on his way doing something else. Let's see. Are you, well, I was going to ask, are you taking anything with you? But really, why would you do that?
Yeah, no, it's church.
He's taking his sins with him.
He is doing that.
That the future Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception Cathedral.
You attend Mass. It is in Spanish, as expected. You have Spanish accented, so you don't pick up all of it, but you get the Latin probably, or at least you're roughly familiar with it. There are a couple of things you notice during the proceedings. One is that, where is it? Early on in the service, the priest points out a particular attendant that is also there in pride of place up toward the front, and has him stand as he introduces Juan Francisco de Prado, who is visiting from Cartagena.
Do you understand the rights that he has listed them?
And that reminds me that Spencer did not get an opportunity to say something to Davino.
Right. Yep.
Did he take that opportunity?
Yes, I did. I meant to. That's actually in my freaking personal notes, and look at that. I went and forgot about it.
What did you tell Davino?
I had a weird dream about a spider lady who was saying that the hunter, probably Davino, was being hunted, and to beware the guy in red, I think, or the man in red. I think that's what
Yes.
they said.
She said
Actually,
the red man specifically.
The red man. Let me see if that part. Oh, hey, it didn't slip my mind.
There you go.
Ah,
So,
very well.
Davino will note that this guy does appear to be a priest. He is attired as a priest. However, he is also wearing red. And it makes him pause.
The Inquisition, here we go. We know you're wishing that we go away, because the Inquisition's here and it's here to stay.
I feel like I should have
yeah.
interrupted that. Davino will notice a second thing on his way out after the service is over, that somebody slipped in behind him, that Mr. Moggridge
What?
did also come and attend
We have
Mass.
2 filthy papists aboard? Oh, man.
And you note each other's presence. And
I didn't pretend
as you are...
neither of you noticed.
I would think Davino would be like,
Yeah,
would
Davino
try
probably
to-
wouldn't be as worried.
No, it wouldn't mean anything to him.
Filthy papists.
So he kind of lags behind, lets you catch up to him, and he said, and he kind of says a bit low, says, "Let's keep this between ourselves, sir, if you please."
Oh, very well.
But why?
Let's see. Just to establish the particulars, what was the next
and then,
thing
then
that?
Nara drags me to Mass.
Well, that may come later. It's also worth noting that Moggridge doesn't actually speak Spanish either, so he didn't get half of that.
Great. I'm going to get dragged to Mass just to translate it for the 2.
Well,
Well,
what was
it's mostly the prayers, but everyone knows the prayers, so.
indeed? You kind of get the gist. What was Surrendel's next operation after
Sell the sword and go buy a dress and
sword
then
first?
sword first to get the funds, then
And
go
then he
find
wants
a.
a dress because, he thinks his calves would look really great in that dress.
Is he getting help?
I don't know, and I will make it known that he's attempting to sell it, but I think he doesn't need help. Not to sell. He's got merchant. At least he'd be aware
right.
that he's being. I mean, he'll ask around if there's,
Well, Spencer's probably going to coordinate with Davino to figure out which of the 2
Right.
4-pounders to get rid of, so he can go. This one is worse than the other 2, and I'm not sure about that one, but these 2 are the quality ones. We want to keep them.
I've got this
mean-
image of Davino down in the hold, sitting off to one side, looking at all the cannon lined up in front of him, and talking to him,
decide.
saying, "All right, which one of you, 2 of you, has to go, and I'm taking volunteers."
Oh no, that's totally how he treats the guns. Yeah.
All right, so we'll say Spencer is going to get with Davino after Mass, probably, and probably head back over to the ship to poke around at the guns and figure out which ones and how you guys are going to get them off the ship. Speaking of
Well,
which,
there is that.
when you go over to the ship, one of the crewmen catches you and says, we should probably see about renting another boat. We're going to be going back and forth like this all the time. Wonder if we could, it's probably bold doing this too. And says that maybe we could release some company funds to that end.
Sure, that sounds like a good idea.
Deal with that later. At any rate, unless Rogers or Hayden has anything else they need to do, aside from their SOPs, we will move forward. And I accidentally scrolled up.
So Claude was going to shadow, I think, Handsome Ned just to kind of see where they go if they're up to anything
Right.
hippie.
He's gonna see the vampire lady eat him.
So
I mean,
you roll a shadowing while Sir Randall rolls merchant.
do you want it in the box or
Open's fine.
tried to fail?
All right. So for Claude, don't get very far into the square before there's a bit of a crowd going, and you're following. Which one are you following? Are you following Ned or are you following the woman?
Ned. I don't think Claude would have tagged on to them locking eyes or anything.
Yeah, well, and Claude knows Ned at least a little better, so easier to recognize. But yeah, you totally lose him in the crowd.
Great.
He just poof, right around the corner, gone. He ghosted you.
Maybe he's a vampire.
That would explain why he's still alive.
Mm.
Yeah.
And a daywalker. Is he a sparkly?
Well, if you actually read Dracula, he didn't have a lot of issues with running around in the daylight. That was something that was sort of added to the lore later.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Claude will kind of hover around the little square and then eventually give up and make his way back to wherever everybody else is. And if
Oh,
everybody's
okay.
gone, then Claude will go to SOP.
Back to temporary headquarters.
Yeah.
In fact, about the temporary headquarters, one of the things Bold is probably going to be organizing is trying to go around finding a place longer term, hopefully in the same general area, so you guys still have a good view of the ship and all that. Sir Randall starts going around town and asking about the sword, or asking about selling the sword. One of the first things you're going to note is as you talk to a couple of well-to-do merchant types, you're starting to get the impression you have a reputation around here.
Ruh-roh.
In fact, they seem to have gotten the impression you are some kind of rake and or ne'er-do-well.
Well, they're not wrong.
Why they have your name?
Oh, I know why. I know entirely why. And when I meet him again, it's gonna. I know why. Well, I will say it's like, let's see, how would I would approach that as a way of not outright denying it, because that would be a lie. But I would
And
definitely
yes, you
downplay it.
never lie.
I know, right?
You just go up.
But I would, well, I try and downplay it and kind of laugh it up. It's like if you know, kind of that. If I only wish I could be, as rakish or whatever.
I bet that bloody frog told you that.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know
yeah.
what he does with his dog?
Oh, that's yeah. Throw it. Yeah. Turn it. Yeah. Turn it. That's like. I think I think the author of such slander is a bit jealous, and yeah, I'll make a point of making it pointing out that the author is probably just jealous of me and my accomplishments, that he finds it hilarious to spread rumors prior to my arrival.
2 quick side questions. 1, what did you do with the letter?
It's probably in my pocket still.
So you're just hanging on to it?
Yep.
You should probably find a place to read it. And then, oops, drop it into the fire.
It's true.
Question number 2. Nosh, is Rogers going to seek out Sir Randall, or is he just going to wait to see if he drops by later?
I think I'll seek him out.
All right, then.
But how would I do that? Like spread or start a rumor in return?
I believe there's obvious. It's going to be in social engineering. I'm pretty sure I've seen it before. I don't recall right off the top of my head, but it's probably going to involve, the usual suspects.
Right.
Spreading rumors. At any rate, despite your difficulties, at the very least, you've got a perfectly good translator, so you don't have to worry about the accented part of the language. And they will indeed point you to a particular person to. They say that he is a collector of rare things and may be interested in purchasing a fancy sword if you have it.
Nice.
And his name is
Bob.
Imran Wasil Ferron.
Imran Wasir Ferron. Senor Ferron. Imran, what is that Spanish?
Some of it.
Okay.
Great. You're about to run into another immortal guy and not know it.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Well,
so
Don't forget, I was actually rereading through the stuff and listening to some of this stuff. Don't forget, if he asks about Solomon, is that what we
Yeah.
knew? Yes, because when we said, "Oh, we won't tell anybody about you," and Solomon said, "What are you talking about? You know, tell everybody. Just make sure that you get paid well for it."
Gotcha.
so do you have the sword with you, or do you need to go back and
Yes.
fetch it?
No, I have the sword with me.
So
Probably
you brought
wrapped up.
brought it with you to the docks, or you went
Well,
to
it's
fetch
probably
it
like
back
it's
after the
probably
docks?
like wrapped in a cover and just slung over, like because
Yeah,
my intent was to go to the docks, see what I could do if we could do something, which we were able to, and then move along.
and possibly cut his head off with it.
Well,
Late strike.
if the head cutting doesn't work, then I'm gonna go seek out Davino and ask, hey, there was some rumor about this thing being a monster killer, right? Can you shoot this guy and see if it works?
So you are going to head off in the general direction that you were given. For simplicity's sake, we will say that you are encountered by Lieutenant Rogers on the way there.
Ah, Sir Randall, how are you?
Pleasant meeting you here. Brings you out.
Well, I came finding you. Someone dropped this off and asked me to give it to you. I believe you've been invited to a soiree.
I was like, oh, I have I?
A soiree of the damned.
Oh, well, that's much less intriguing and inviting.
I don't know. I find that even more intriguing.
Well, anyway, it's like I definitely it's like having heard the I open it in front with you guys there, and it's like want to take any polls on if Mr. If Maurice Bonsignard might be behind this, or another guest of this individual, and I'll read the letter.
The letter is as the servant stated. You are invited to dine at the hacienda of Gordon Reed this evening, and it gives a time. It's pretty late.
Well, it seems. Does it say numbers like one with +1 or that kind of thing?
Oh,
any limits on how many
to...
guests I can bring?
Bring the entire crew. They're all going to die.
Oh, hey, it is.
Eyes wide shut with vampires.
Ugh. Shudder.
The letter will say that other guests are welcome as well. Friends, I think, would probably be the word used.
Okay. Well, my dear, it seems like we must make further haste in getting you properly attired for this soiree. Lieutenant Rogers, would you be willing to join us for said soiree? And if you do happen to see Mr. LaCroix, please ensure that he too is aware and to come find me and at the local tailor. For he will also need a suit. And feel free to invite the partners. How about that? And Mr. LaCroix. How about that? I'll just put it out there like that.
I'll gather them up and I'll send LaCroix your way.
Spiffy.
Excellent. And I tell him that, I'm going to, sell this and then head to the to a tailor, seamstress, whatever. Tinker, tailor,
I heard he was a soldier, though.
soldier, tinker, tailor.
Couldn't be a spy, though.
Never a spy.
That's ridiculous. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, right. So, brief departure. As Lieutenant Rogers goes back and starts looking for the other partners, that being Hayden and Spencer and Palange at the moment. Spencer
Two
and
of us are on the
Palange
boat,
are probably
or
returning from the boat at
offloading,
this point, having.
or
and-
offloading a couple of the guns, trying to.
You are not the two of you going to offload those. I don't recall how much those weigh, but the 2-pounders weigh 250 pounds apiece.
My guess
Well,
would it be
then
possible?
they'd probably be 500 pounds if you just double them, because
I don't think
2-pounder,
it's exactly
4-pounder.
double, but it might be.
I'll look.
Would it be possible to find a buyer and have them row out to come pick them
That
up?
is actually
is
what
possible.
I was thinking about.
Gotcha.
Regardless, Spencer and Palange return from the boat. Palange in tears. The monkey is not. So Rogers will find them. Hayden was quite possibly heading out that direction just to see what they came up with or whatever. So you just luckily happen to be all right in the same place when Mr. Hooper shows up.
Oh dear.
He says, Captain.
What is it?
And he says, you remember back at Harbor Island, or after Harbor Island, and I asked you if I should have said something about that big ugly guy, and you said, yes, I should have told you. Well, I'm telling you now, that big ugly guy is here.
Where?
It's like right outside of town on the beach, just kind of sitting there or walking around. I don't know what he's up to, but he's just as ugly as I remember him. Come on, I'll show you.
Lead the way.
And you guys are not that far away at this point, maybe a third of a mile or something like that, to the edge of the barrio. And you can see down the beach, this is kind of in between little settled areas. There's a lot of little huts and cottages and that sort of thing here and there, and jetties, and a little further down is the some of the shipyards and that sort of thing. And yeah, there is this dude. He's very tall. He is not exactly an attractive fellow. Scraggly hair, looks like he's wearing rags or something like that. He's out in front of this improvised lean-to shelter thing, and he's basically just pacing back and forth in the surf, just at the edge of it, with his feet wet. Looks kind of like that.
Yep. He's a big ugly guy.
And other than that,
Is that the Mad Max dude?
Yeah.
he was in one of the Mad Maxes.
Oh
good one,
yeah,
the
that
second
yeah,
one.
yeah. He was no. Oh yeah, he was in the second one and in the third one.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
yeah,
the
that's
third
right.
one, yeah. Damn, those things are heavy.
Yeah, they are not light.
Not enough runway. Not enough runway.
I am looking. I found this 1785 British 4-pounder that's smooth bore, and it weighs 868 pounds, 394 kilograms. I suspect ours would weigh less because this one does look like it's got filigree and stuff like that, but not
I
by
have
much.
I have a weight on the spreadsheet. Yeah, I've got 800 on the spreadsheet.
Woo,
Minion
buddy.
is the specific term for that particular one, although I don't think that's actually correct.
Well, carry on. I was just
At any
curious.
rate, so having first off, in case somebody here has forgotten, and in case somebody watching never knew in the first place, at Harbor Island about 2 weeks ago ish. No, it'd be more, almost 2.5, 3 weeks. In game, Hooper was accosted by a very large, ugly fellow who demanded to know where they were going before he wriggled free and ran off. That is, Hooper did, not the big guy. And nobody knew anything about it.
And he's just wading back and forth in the water.
You can't tell if he's watching anything in particular. It doesn't look like he's looking at your ship or anything like that.
It's a
He's just
merman.
walking back and forth.
He's a merman.
He could be a merman.
We should come at him from multiple sides, so he can't make his escape.
Come at him to do what?
Question him why it is he wanted to know where we're going, and then, of all places,
How did he get here?
yeah, it is an awful coincidence given how many other places he could have gone.
Indeed.
So
Technically,
I guess
how do you think you would execute this?
I
With
will roll at
flair?
tactics,
He will do it with flair
Suppose you could.
and style.
and
Wow.
I have no idea.
That is awesome.
That's-
A 17.
That
Nice.
is pretty damn rare.
Let's see. Who
Well,
else?
apparently
Who else
Haydn's
there?
a little confused right now, just at the insanity of it all, I guess.
He's taken aback by how ugly that guy is.
I was going to say that there's probably, I don't know, 30, 40 yards between yourself and his location, as far as the edge of where you might have some cover here. Now, there are trees and brush and that sort of thing behind him, but on the other side, you've got the beach and water. So there's really not a whole lot out here. So sneaking up on him is potentially possible if you go through the brush, but tricky still.
Well, the intention was to come sort of north and south of him, so he couldn't flee up the beach or down the beach, and then approach him from the scrub.
Did all four of you go? I didn't actually
assumed-
ask if everybody was going.
I assumed everyone went.
Who is the four?
Because it was Hayden, Rogers, Spencer, and Palange were present at the time Hooper showed up.
Yeah, I'm nosy. Absolutely,
That's
I'm going to
true.
go because I want to find out how he caught up with us and got us here.
All right.
I don't know about Lieutenant Rogers or Mr. Palange.
Sure.
Well, if I intersected with these people, and that's when Hooper came forward, I'll go down as well.
That's
Well,
the spirit.
I tell you what we'll do is let you guys simmer on that for a bit while we go back to, well, I don't know if Com Junkie is actually still AFK.
Does Lieutenant Rogers have tactics?
See,
he could potentially, when Captain
Well, I
Hayden
suppose-
starts thinking about it, Rogers could also be thinking about it.
Suppose if
Going,
he
"Wait,
assisted
well,
him,
you
he
know?"
could bring him over into success territory as well.
No, because it was a 17 on the dice. Otherwise, I would have bennied it.
Yeah, but your skill is sufficiently high that's not an automatic fail.
Well, it's not a crit
No,
fail.
17
but
and
I think
18
it
are
is an
always a
automatic
fail.
That's true. He would have to re. Well, yeah, whatever. Rogers can make a roll if he wants.
What is tactics untrained?
I think
It's
it's a
minus
hard
6.
skill.
IQ minus 6.
All right. Well,
That.
you guys think about that for a minute while we switch back to Sir Randall. Now, Sir Randall, where did I put that? Ah, there we are. You. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days. Sir Randall was given directions to the home of Mr. Imran, and he will take the sword there. He has Inara with him, and he will be greeted at the door by a guy
Right, for the podcast.
who responds.
For the podcast, Rogers failed his tactics roll by 5, and Spencer made an untrained one and succeeded by 0. We need to remember to do that for the stupid podcast.
Well, yeah. Sir Randall is greeted at the door of this home by this fellow who looks somewhat less angry than this picture. That was just the best one I could find. He seems very friendly,
Aha.
not angry. And he
Aha.
says, bienvenido. Come here. So he asks you, how can I help you?
You know, and
Quick, draw the sword and attack him and see what happens.
go for the head or neck. It's like, I will. It's like, yeah. Greetings, good morning to you, sir. My name is, Randall Payne. You have come highly recommended as a choir of interesting and valuable things. In fact, particularly when it comes to blades. I have one
Blades, you
such
say?
blade. Yes, and I have one such blade that I am trying to find a suitable buyer for.
Indeed. Well, come in, come in. And who might you be?
And I will introduce her. Randall Payne. Owner of a
That is
vessel.
a lot of stuff in there.
So this isn't obviously this is generic, but it is
I don't
kind of
know.
like
It's
that.
been shared, so this is
clutter.
exactly what it looks like.
There is stuff all over the place, and a lot of that stuff is what you might classify as antiques. There are a lot of weapons, swords, that sort of thing. Some of them very impressive. You
I will
show him
definitely
what you have.
exclaim and regard his collection and definitely be impressed.
I'm going to be interested to see if Payne tells the actual story of how he got that.
Well, I was told to.
He cut off his head, and there was lightning, and so weird.
Well, I don't know if I tell it exactly like that initially.
Well, yeah, but you have the storytelling thing, so you have to make it sound really cool.
This is true.
Well,
gotta have opportunities to use it.
He starts looking it over. And first, he asks permission to handle it, and he examines it closely. And first off, he's like, "Well, this is a very beautiful piece, very fine." And he looks closely. There's the maker's mark on this. That means. And he examines it a little more and asks, "How did you come by this?"
I was gifted it by a Mr. Solomon, right? We had assisted him in
Jeffrey de Solomon, yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey de Solomon. We assisted him in one of his endeavors, and in doing so, he rewarded us with this.
I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and give you an open body language roll, because you're going to know eventually the results.
No, he's not.
Which you are not doing
not
well.
By 5, not fail by 5.
So you don't read any additional body language into the current
It's all
situation.
the awesome, distracting stuff.
So you mentioned Solomon and all that, and he kind of responds back. Well, you see this mark here. This is the personal mark of a man named Falco Renders, and he asked, "Have you seen this man? Perhaps with Mr. Solomon?"
I don't know that I'm familiar with the name.
That name is, in fact, the name of the guy whom
Mr.
Solomon met.
Gotcha. Yes, actually. I believe this is the very individual. This was the very man the Mr. Solomon had us assist him with.
Well, we didn't really assist him.
Well,
we just took him there, or we just rode him to shore. And
we assisted in the meeting between the two.
Which turned weird.
And at this point, you don't need body language to pick up on the sort of knowing grin on his face as he says, "And would this meeting involve a beheading at all?"
I will look surprised, like, you are quite astute, good sir. It did indeed, along with surprisingly enough, a rather interesting storm of lightning.
Please,
I would have
tell me what that means.
expected as much. So,
Oh, come on, can I roll maybe a storytelling roll? Does I recant the tale? Or do I need to? I don't even know.
well, you don't really need to here, I suppose.
Well,
So let's see. At this point, he says, "Well, as it happens, I am aware of Mr. Solomon, and I am interested in his goings on. And it seems you have encountered an interesting tale of his. I really need to write this down." So he goes over and starts scrounging through some papers and stuff, and comes back and starts getting your dictation on the story. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the first time Inara is hearing any of this,
probably true.
and she's kind of what?
Well, it depends on how well he does on his storytelling role. But based off of what I've seen with the rolls thus far tonight,
It's not gonna go so well.
his storytelling is like, yeah, they drew sword, they shouted at each other, they drew swords and saw him and cut his head off. The end.
I recount how we met him in one port, brought him to the other location, and
We found him
or
in
what?
the stocks.
Or
We
the
got
stocks.
him out. Got him out. No, it wasn't stocks. It was like crow's nest, something like that.
Or was it a pillory?
No, it was
He was under arrest.
Damn it, Gibbet.
Gibbets and crows.
So as you are recounting the story, and he does not interrupt you, he lets you go on as he scribbles. But at a particular pause, he'll work in. Do you have any proof of this? Records, perhaps, logging, that sort of thing.
I would. Well, our logs would, such records of our travels would be on our ship.
Would it be possible for me to see this? Perhaps make some copies.
I'm sure such things can be arranged.
For a price.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
well, I know you wouldn't necessarily say that, but
He hasn't quite asked the titular question.
Well, you did come here and say that you were here to sell the sword.
Yes.
And so at some point in this process afterward, he'll come back to the part about the selling and said, okay, so he gave this to you free and clear, and I see no reason why that should be any problem. So yes, absolutely, I will buy this from you. This is an important piece. And he goes and digs through some papers over here and a couple of papers over there and counts some stuff on his fingers and said, I feel I can offer you 64 pistolas for the Skavana and your information. Now, for the record, 64 pistolas, those are gold coins, roughly equivalent to the crown.
wow.
Wow. Okay. And I would be quite aware that. Okay, so there.
Did you picked up connoisseur?
I did.
Treasure, yeah.
Go ahead and roll it. Okay. Well, this not
Success
being,
but 0.
I guess technically this is sort of an artifact in a way.
That's what I
given
wrote
his,
in. I didn't know what the
description.
best way to describe it as.
Yeah,
'cause,
well,
I was still
think
trying
that
to
was my recommendation. At any rate, yeah. So your appraisal at this point, not only knowing artifacts but also knowing swords, you'd say this is a pretty good price, and there's a little over, obviously, for the information. You don't know what the over under is on that, but
right.
but yeah, this isn't bad.
The
draws can also cut wires.
I will. Did we know? He did tell us where he was heading to next, right?
No, he
He
did not.
joined a schooner.
Oh, he joined a schooner.
Yeah,
Oh,
an undermanned schooner that the British had impressed some people.
That's right.
So
yeah,
he
they were
joined
meeting.
them joined as the acting captain.
I
So-
think he did say that he wanted to get them to take him to Bermuda or something.
Yeah, I thought there was. So
Yeah.
it's like that is quite the fair price, and you honor me as with such. And as I'm, as we start to,
You gonna haggle?
by the way, oh yeah, I guess I could haggle a little bit, but I will also kind of, do the, and kind of on a side note, it's like he did mention where he was going. I don't know if that would be of any interest to you.
An additional interest? Oh, do tell.
Oh well, I mean, that information he did say that information he did explicitly say would come at some cost to the desire of such.
As you say that, you hear him muttering in what you presume to be Arabic, and maybe the name Solomon is in there somewhere.
Damn it! I don't speak Arabic. I need to learn Arabic.
Okay,
And he says, "Yes, of course."
you said 64 pistolas.
Yeah. So if you
should
want to
make a
merchant
merchant.
on that, you can go ahead and haggle.
Here comes the 18.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna
Fail
luck
that
it.
one.
Oh, didn't know what you were up to there.
It's like, why did that take so long?
Oh,
to
good
type
God.
that? Success by 4. Well, that's not.
I almost looked like it was gonna land on another one.
I say you take
Okay.
a fail by 1 instead of the success by 4 or a success by 2.
Because that's how it
But
works.
you can probably don't want to listen to me right now.
Nah, I'm going to thank you for your advice and promptly discard it.
Ignore it.
Uh-huh. Well, you go back and forth a little bit about that, and he kind of comes back to you and says, "Well, this is for this, and this is for that," and he's not moved on the price really at this point, but he has explained how much you're getting out of this in great detail, actually.
And that is good. Yeah, and if
Translation,
it obviously it
beat you.
sounds fair, yeah, and it sounds fair. Then
Actually, you guys came out about even. However, he says, and he's kind of
information is always of value too.
combing through some other papers over here, and he says, yes, okay, this. Did you say that you were headed to Nassau after that?
I did, in fact, say that we were going to Nassau.
Because it's also, I have a report here that there was a very large fellow with an unusual gun that arrived in Nassau around that time, and I think perhaps you may know this man.
A largest man of
That's right. He's totally good.
It is a very unique gun, very large gun. You would not have mistaken it.
How much is Davino's life worth? Let's find out.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know about the wearing red thing, right? Was he wearing red? I didn't.
Actually, no, you wouldn't probably know that.
I'm just curious.
No, this guy is not wearing red.
Okay, I'm just curious. That would just been hilarious. No, he's wearing blue and brown. Well, he does seem familiar, but
come on, you know you want to sell Davino out.
Perhaps another pistola or two would jog your memory.
He's gonna punk Davino.
Hold on, nope. I am. Hold on. Hold on. I have a sense of duty to the team. Of like, this man sounds familiar, but I'm unsure if that we know the same person.
That sounds like fast talk to me.
Maybe you should find out also why he wants to know about it. Also, you totally should have
it's like
called in or had what's her face do the merchant. I bet she's better at it than you are.
I'm gonna assume actually that she's probably assisting there a little. Although honestly, she's a little confused at the whole situation right now. She's not aware of this part of your life yet.
Yep, you're gonna lose her, and the points
she's
are
totally
still
gonna run.
spent.
He so he continues on. You say, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe I know this." No. He said, "Well, as I've said, I have interest in interesting pieces, and that is a very interesting piece to me. Um, if you
Because
should,
it could kill.
you know, happen to see this fellow, it would certainly be worth some coin. If I could just see it and
Well, if if I do
confirm
happen to,
its reality."
if I do happen to encounter this individual, I will guarantee that I will pass along your interest.
Very well. So he will count out the money,
There's
and
no
you're
one in
looking at
like
all that gold. Clink, clink, clink.
it's approximately half a crown or half a
So
pound,
the
right?
end result here, it's worth 32 pounds.
Gotcha. That's what okay. But it's in
But it's in-
pistolas. But I
yeah.
can burn pistolas here, so
Yes, you can. Okay, so you did not tell him you knew about the gun?
no.
You're not sure if he's convinced that you were not blowing him off?
And that's fine. That's I mean, we have cannons, so we do have big guns. I'm not lying. I'm just
Uh-huh.
Yes, you are. Davino's a big man, and he has a very unique gun. So
And
Oh, that is
with that-
funny. Okay, I didn't notice this before, but is this intentionally?
I don't know what you're
The
pointing at. You're
image,
pointing.
his house,
Oh, probably not then.
but it's the same sword. It's on the
Oh.
floor.
Well, it's not the same, but it probably is the same type.
now it's the
That is
sword.
amusing. Now it is. That's exactly where it lands.
He just throws it. I'm like, well, hey, what he does with his.
Chuck.
Although I am very intrigued by this guy's belongings and stuff. I might.
Some nice stuff in here.
I know. I might be, especially from a treasure hunter's. I wonder what interesting tales some of the things have.
So you guys
Davino.
will
I'm
do
definitely
a
coming with
little bit
Davino
more
if he
small
goes.
talk, and he will bid you good day.
Does he know of any good seamstresses on the island that we should definitely visit?
He can definitely give you some good recommendations in that regard. Although this is Sunday, so they may or may not be available. And if you mention that you're in a hurry, you say, "Well, that'll definitely cost you." But hey, you just got paid.
It's true. Sad as it is.
In the meantime, back at the beach, which
Why
I
don't you
realized
guys
I had.
flank, and I just walk up and talk to him?
I meant to actually show that image. This is
But
obviously
you
not
failed.
the beach, but it's sort of just outside this kind of area.
Right. So remind me what this guy, the big ugly guy, was asking Hooper the last time about,
He said something about wanting to know where they were going.
and that's all that he was asking.
Yeah, Hoop
Or
didn't
got.
stick around. He just bolted.
And he roughed Hooper up a little bit, didn't he?
He didn't actually hurt him or anything. He just kind of grabbed at him and was very forceful. But Hoop is kind of slippery that way.
Right. Well, how do we
Well,
proceed? I'm just gonna
Let's flank and proceed.
Stick with the plan, regardless of your
Yep.
tactics roll.
Well, I was able to go. Well, that doesn't sound
That's true.
great. Why don't we do this? I have no idea what he did, what he suggests. Because
Now that I think about it, I should have used a group roll on that anyway.
too late. So sad.
Wouldn't have made any
Oh, well.
difference. The dice
Well,
was still a 17.
You know, we
that
know
depends who
Hooper is
rolled
an
it first.
awesome climby person.
because I might not have had you roll it, but then again, I might have. At any rate, so you've got a basic plan. So the idea was to bracket him in on the beach somehow. So you guys will have to circle back through the bush a little bit. So that will take you some time. I will have you all that
I'll
are
just
present make
walk up
a
there.
stealth check.
What is this stealth thing you speak of?
Mm-hmm.
Booyah! There's mine. Fail by 6.
What's the default? It's dex -5.
You lean over on a tree
Defaulting that?
branch and it like completely goes over.
Did I do that?
Dex -5 for a default or IQ -5.
Ha!
Uh-huh.
I still beat
And
you.
if it's IQ -5, then I failed by 3. Sorry, 2.
I
Yeah,
still
I was gonna
beat
say.
you.
Davino's there too.
Yeah, but he's probably asleep.
No, not to sleep.
Does he also not have stealth? I don't know how. Why do I have stealth?
He does not have stealth. He's far too loud for it.
Ha! I still beat you. I did it worse. So clearly, I am not sneaking at all.
Well, you're in good company. The only one sneaky is Rogers. You guys lost him.
You guys knocked over a tree.
Hoop is with you
A
too.
couple of them.
Hoop is not that sneaky, but he's better than you guys.
Dude, I have a 10 in the skill.
All right, so you guys are kind of clomping through the brush, trying to get into a bracketing position over there.
We're clearly discussing our tactics while attempting to stealth up there. That's why we suck so bad.
As you were closing the trap, as it were, you will note that the big ugly guy has been joined by another person who came up the beach, looking something like that.
Let's see. So I had, the only people who've seen her is Randall's party.
That's true. None of you have seen it.
Wow. Dude's batting way above his weight. She's clearly out of his class until
You
she
pause
like,
to
face morph and eats him.
you pause to evaluate this new information. You note that it seems like the two are sort of quietly discussing something. You're not close enough at the moment to hear, at which point Spencer will step on a stick
Or lean on a tree that falls or something.
or something like that. And the two of them just snap, looking in your direction.
Hello.
You're not sure they can see you, but they're looking directly where that sound came from.
That's okay. I'll just march forward and go, hello.
How about the rest of you?
Well, if we're in a position to go out onto the beach and bracket them, then stepping out.
So you could tell that they were looking at several of you, not being very well
stepping
hidden.
out then.
And at that moment, you see the big ugly guy will sort of look. You know how it is, face down, looking up at you, and he gets this big toothy smile on his face. And as you guys are closing, you suddenly get this horrible feeling like something is going to eat you right now. All of you make a fright check at -4.
Get him. That's your plan. Get him. I like this plan. It's a great plan.
Simple plans are good.
Totally does the oops, someone
Woot!
made it.
I failed mine by 3.
And you're out.
Hey.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of messes that I have to do. Okay, so no disturbing voices. I think that's it, actually.
Missing one. Okay. 2 of you need to roll on the table.
Yep. Let's see. So you were using a slightly different table? No. Sorry. I was
No.
thinking.
Actually,
no, that was not you. It was Nosh who was using that.
no.
So
Just you saying that though. Did we ever actually create the other table?
No.
Um,
Yes, maybe.
the Dungeon Fantasy table, DFRPG.
I legitimately don't know.
I don't think we actually did.
I think I might have it. But thanks to Unity, I can't open up a different thing to look.
Yeah. Well,
Right. So I am stunned for 2.
bear in mind, I will be overriding these results a little. in that regard. So
Woohoo! I'm only stunned for 2 seconds.
you're actually going to run away.
Why am I going to run away? I don't want to run away.
Yeah, well, you're not exactly in control of yourself right now. Who else failed? That was Rogers.
Whoa.
Nice.
Faint
Okay.
for 1 minute.
Good God.
Wow. Boop.
Okay, so instead of that, what's going to happen is he's going to turn and run right into a tree.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, it was the same tree that I knocked over.
Given that it's only 1 hit point of injury, he's not going to fall over unconscious or anything. He's just going to glance off it, but still, he will be running away for a minute. The other two of you. Oh, also Hooper, totally running away and screaming. The other two of you that aren't running away right now still have that overwhelming feeling of I'm about to freaking die right now.
And Davino's going to shoot this guy with his big gun.
Sort of
You know that.
sort of on an instinctual level, like you're a little bird that just got the shadow of the big bird flew right over him. It's that kind of thing. So, Davino and Haydn are suddenly alone with these two.
Is the feeling coming from a particular one of them?
There's one of them that in particular was smiling at you.
I don't think I like this smile.
It's not a friendly smile.
Well, this surely can't go wrong in any way. Well, yeah, I think I'll shoot him.
You will first
That
produce the weapon.
escalated quickly.
What will Haydn do?
Well, his instinct is to draw his sword and pistol, but he's going to be, since he's actually terrified of what's coming, he will be backing off.
All right. Davino is the brave one, apparently.
At least until, he knows what's happening with his friends, since his friends are either running away or running into trees.
Some of them are very uncharacteristically running away, except Davino. Davino stands firm instead of fainting as usual.
Yeah, there's no way this can go terribly wrong. Not at all.
The big ugly fellow is just standing there and staring at you, almost daring you to do it.
Until maybe
The female is not bothered at all. She looks bored.
Okay, are either one of these wearing red?
They are not.
Okay, just thought I'd ask.
Not yet.
Yeah.
To be fair, the hunting and the red were not necessarily in the same part of the sentence.
Yeah, that's true. I may have messed that up. I do sort of like the idea of them like, yeah, this is fine. This dude's not a threat. So what? He's got a big gun. And then Davino shoots the guy who doesn't bother to dodge, and it kills him. And the chick goes, nope, and nopes right out of there.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'd like that quite a lot.
You are going to commit to this plan.
Yeah.
His fight or flight kicked in, and he chose shoot the MFR.
Does Haydn try to prevent him from completing this plan at all?
Well, Haydn
Or does
is
he support
slower
this
on the combat tracker, so Haydn probably doesn't even know, because Davino's got his weapon drawn and pointed, right?
We're doing slow-mo right now. It's not exactly combat, but so Hayden's first instinct was to produce his weapons, and he was starting to step back toward the rest of them that are running away, while Davino drew his pistol. And actually, is that his axe pistol?
Let's see.
I can't remember if he carried another pistol or not.
No, he just has the wall gun, the rifle, and then the axe gun.
Okay, so he doesn't have a choice there. So he pulls the axe gun, and he seems.
Wait, this isn't the gun, is it?
This is not the gun. This is the axe gun, or the axe pistol.
Oh, that's
All right,
definitely
so-
gonna go
that changes.
much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah,
going to
that's-
much more poorly for Davino than because
So
I could
Hayden,
just imagine them. Sorry,
no, go.
no, I was just going to say I could imagine them like thinking that it's going to be nothing, and he blows them apart with his wall gun.
With a gun.
So Hayden has pacifism cannot harm innocence.
Okay.
These people haven't technically done anything yet.
No, they haven't.
So Hayden will, he will say, in defense only.
All right. Is Davino gonna accept that command, or is he gonna change his tactic at that, or does he need to make a leadership role or something?
No, in defense only. Okay, then in defense only. He's not the happiest because scary people, but if that's the order, so be it.
Then, do you continue to back off?
Yeah, he'll back away and like.
All right. The big ugly fellow will continue his stare down with big toothy smile and just watch you go. And as you're sort of melting into the brush, he'll raise a finger and point at Davino.
Well,
mock.
Hayden's only going as far back as, his like either knocked out or freaked out companions. He's not going to leave them on the beach.
No, they're I think one of them failed for 2 seconds. Rogers didn't have a time limit. No, that would have been 1 minute. So Rogers is going a little farther than Spencer, but Spencer is sort of already running, so he might, I don't know. Depends on him whether he keeps going that way or what way, but
No,
yeah,
if I
they're not
snap
that
out of
far.
it, I'm gonna probably go back there and try to ask. It's like, hey, what's going on? We just wanted to say hello.
So Haydn and Palange are backing away from them very slowly and carefully. Are you running out past them?
If it ever comes to it, while backing off, Hayden's taking aim.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just wanted to ask you some questions. No reason to hit us with the mojo.
Hayden will say, "What are you doing, Mr. Spencer?"
Attempting to open a dialogue.
Is the feeling of fear still present?
Oh yeah.
I do not feel good about this, Dr. Spencer.
Nope. Neither do I.
We should retreat.
I just want to know who the heck these people are. Why they're wondering about our ship.
Wait,
Well, they're not on
they're
your
on
ship.
our ship. Oh,
I said wondering about our ship.
oh, I thought it sounded like you said wandering about on our ship.
Inquiring about our ship.
Gotcha.
Do you disengage?
So do they even respond to any verbal questions or anything?
So you are Are you Hayden and Palange are retreating? Are you moving ahead of them? Are you entering into a conversation, or are you sticking with the group?
Yeah, I'll be like a step ahead of them, I guess, maybe, so I can ask the questions. But I'm not planning on charging toward them. Hell, my pistol's probably not even loaded.
Hmm.
If he hits us with the mojo again, it'd be like, okay, that's fine. I just want to know what the hell.
As you move forward, the female looks at you,
Ma'am?
and you find that there are crabs collecting around your feet.
Those are probably not real.
They are increasing in numbers, and they feel kind of grabby.
Huh.
Do the rest of us see this?
Maybe not immediately.
You'll
eventually
I have to check
notice.
something.
Depends on what Spencer does there.
He's going to fail against his phobia check about going crazy.
Oh, because he thinks he's mad.
He thinks that's not actually there. Now I have to remind myself what the hell
You already
that,
rolled the
that
Phantom
means.
Voices, didn't you?
It's
I already read the Phantom
right check,
Voice,
isn't it?
but I think I have to roll that again. I'm looking up the Phantom Voices. Yeah, so I have to roll whenever I miss a fright check for Phantom Voices, or make the roll exactly, and whenever I fail a self-control roll for another a stress-related disadvantage. Okay, so first I need to look at the phobia.
Okay, well, when you are in the
Yep, I have
presence,
to roll again.
do you?
I have to roll the fright check again because of the phobia.
Right.
So, that's
Yeah,
usually
ignore that.
large. Incapacitating conditions, whatever. So
Your what's the time period on that? So that's
for what?
25 something seconds, or 25 minus health seconds is the time period on
For
that.
roll versus healthy.
Yeah, so if you
25
were
minus
running
health
away, you would run away
is
for that long.
going to be that's going to be
And that is going to be your instinct here, is to run away.
14 seconds. Plus, I may be hearing crazy things.
You also may be hearing the crabs tell you to hold still, and we want to taste your flesh.
No, I don't hear any voices, but I failed a fright check twice.
There is one other thing.
Oh dear.
Your head hurts.
Yeah,
A
it
lot.
does. I am seeing lots of weird shit.
No, you got ice cream.
Yeah, I
headache.
know. I know. It probably doesn't even occur to him until afterwards when it's like, oh, those SOBs
Mhm.
are using magic.
So, with his fright check, Dr. Spencer stepped out. He tried to engage them in conversation. There was some business with crabs or something. And he turned around and charged right back into the forest, past you guys. But he had little crabs hanging off of him and stuff. Don't know where they came from.
They're not there.
Is Rogers able to respond?
Oh, eventually you guys are going to catch up to each other.
Well, that didn't work like I was expecting
yes.
it to. I just wanted to be friendly and find out what the hell's going on. Damn weirdos.
Was Rogers going to do something?
Well, I I think I'd like to roll against my overconfidence to see if I will re-engage.
We're kind of dumb, aren't we?
You could choose to fail that.
Yeah, I think I will choose to fail it.
So after you recovered yourself and everybody's sort of gathering over there going, what the hell? You're like, I'm going back in there.
I'm going to go back maybe to the tree line to see what they're doing.
Oh, that's not right.
Rogers charges off back toward the tree line to go see what they're about. Anybody going with him? Hoop's not going. Hoop's already back at the hotel hiding under the blankets.
I'm probably still running when he ends up doing
Spencer
that.
is close behind him.
Davino needs to go back and get his wall gun and then come back and go, let's see how you like this, monkeys.
Well, Hayden won't let Rogers go alone, but he's saying, Mr. Rogers, did you not feel it? There is something very wrong with this situation.
I felt it, but I need to know. I need to take a look.
He wants to ask them to be his neighbor.
You gaze upon the beach and see that there is no one there.
Just a crap ton of crabs.
There are still some crabs on the beach.
80 gave Spencer crabs.
I turn to Hayden and say, "What was that?"
I do not know, but
Wait,
I did
I
not
heard
like
the
it.
Inquisition was in town, right? Maybe I could go tell the Inquisition about these guys.
I say, "Did you see anything?"
I didn't see anything, but I felt it.
Bloody magic.
All right. So just to establish, what are you guys going to do after this?
I am seriously considering seeking out the Inquisition and sicking them on these people.
Rogers did come and inform everybody that they were invited to dine tonight.
Well, I think I'll go back to my room or wherever I'm bunking and calm down and get ready to go to the event.
You got a few hours, I think, before then. So plenty
Right.
of
Well, I
time
mean,
to de-stress.
Is
All right,
that a
so-
long-term or short-term stability thing?
You would gain some short-term points based on your fright check failure, which I don't think anybody's got enough to be a problem. So after
we don't
10
have
minutes apiece, you'll recover those. Actually, Spencer
Oh,
come
that's
pretty
just
close though.
stability points. That's stability points, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just the regular stability points. These aren't long-term.
Let's see. So failed
Unless
a
you crit
fright
failed or something.
check. Failed 3. So how do you lose these?
No, that's right. If you quote unquote get a major wound in that regard, it would count, and I don't think anybody did. Yeah, nobody had that
Fear.
bad.
Okay, so no. That's just
Yeah, you guys are fine. So, right, you guys are going back, relax for a bit, and meet up with Payne later. Back to Payne. Sir Randall, after selling the sword and flush with cash at the moment, you went to, I presume, take up the guy's recommendation about a
Getting
tailor.
her dress. Yep. We need
So-
wares for something for her to wear.
I will call this a high society roll, and you can make that and see if you can convince this person to A, do some work on the weekend, and B, if you need this now, she's probably going to have to borrow a dress
And that's fine.
or rent one.
I kind of
whatever somebody
rent
does.
it, whatever they do.
But you could also have her measured and actually have one made for her.
is it going to be a white wedding dress?
Mhm. Damn. You go to the residence of whoever it is, and they are surprised to see somebody calling, but you say, this is kind of an emergency, though, so
And I deeply
I
regret
need a
putting
party
you
dress.
through this on this day, but I have been invited to this party, and you see, unfortunately, an event happened at sea, and my lady's fine dress was damaged, and we're in need of proper wares to properly to attend.
I need one other roll from you, and that will be a universe roll. And if you get poor or less, they
Oh,
will
come
not have
on.
something. Ah, man.
I don't have any. If you wait 12 minutes.
Uh-huh. All right. Let's see. So that would mean that she doesn't have anything available for her to borrow at this point. And obviously they can't make a dress in this amount of time.
Well, or they would have to modify one, potentially.
They could potentially modify one. It'll take longer. But let's see, you made it by that much. She's there. She's willing to see what they can pull off in the allotted amount of time. So you'll end up paying a little extra. We'll deal with the amounts later. But I'm assuming that since what I'm assuming to be status 1 is 8 pounds for a suit, then her dress is probably going to be a similar price based on that. So I think it's whichever status you're actually going to try for in that regard.
There wouldn't be any like major faux pas if she's just status 1 and I'm coming in as my status 2. Are there?
No,
Okay.
no, status 1 would probably be okay in this case. It'll be a little bit of a drag on you, but not that much. Unlike right now where she's
But
basically
she has
dressed
enough charm
status
to pull it off.
-1.
You know, so
She does have the charm to pull that off, though.
okay, we'll go that way.
Okay. So you're going to end up spending around 10 pounds probably to get it expedited, modified
So
dress.
that's 20 pistolas.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, I think. We can
done.
get specific later.
Spent. I'll spend it off. and
Barring any
changes.
tips.
Oh, I'll call
Okay,
it a
so
tip. Yeah.
it's gonna take you the rest of the time period that you have. So
Well,
you
I
won't be
might
able to go
if
do anything else
well, unless she's willing to stay
unless you're gonna
here,
leave her there.
and if I mean that's up to her. But I figured she'd probably want to be there to.
Okay.
But that way, I can get back and get my stuff ready, and then potentially find something suitable for Claude.
Well, Inara will say that well, yeah, if you need to run and go do something, she can stay here and sort this out. And if you send Claude this way, she'll have instructions.
Perfect. Then I will go see if I can find Claude.
All right. Where was Claude? Lost Claude.
Yeah. Claude went after losing the guy. I think Claude was going to go back to home base, quote unquote, see if anybody was there. And if nobody's there, Claude will go to SOP, which is hanging around the docks and asking after Philip.
Okay. Then you missed the hubbub earlier and came back while they were all out running around, as it were. And they're going to be on their way back right around now.
So you did see the crabs. The crabs, I didn't imagine it.
They did see crabs. They were numerous. They did not know if they were carnivorous.
That was an interesting set of spells.
Have you
And
talked
now
about
Spencer's
spells?
talking about magic again.
Have you talked
Well,
about spells
what else-
before?
What else could it be? I heard
Has
the
he,
Inquisition was in town. Maybe we should sick them on him. These people.
Has Spencer actually talked
Probably
about
not.
magic in front of any of the rest of them?
He's probably said it exists and stuff like that. But I mean, he's not like running around and said, "Hey, I can do magic." I mean, he talks about fairies all the time. Not all the time, but
Well, I have seen some things that are difficult to explain, including what we just encountered.
it's a mind-affecting spell of some sort. Aura of fear. I don't know about the craps. Maybe summoning? I'll have to research.
I'm
Wonder
afraid
if
you
I
are
could do that.
you are losing me, Doctor. I do not know what you're talking about.
That's fine. I don't know what I'm talking about either. Craps.
And now Claude is here, wondering what the hell just happened.
Should pass on warnings about the big ugly guy to everyone. And also the strange woman who, for some reason, brings to mind vampires. Crazy vampires at that.
Mr. Belanger, the big ugly one. He looked and pointed at you. Do you know this man? Have you seen him before?
Not that I can recall, no.
It is true, Davino does not recall him.
Can you think of any reason why he would point you out like that?
Because of the big gun.
Other than the fact that he just pointed an axe gun at the guy.
I did just point a gun at him, that might be why, but apart from that.
I also had my own pistol drawn and pointed at them. But he seemed to take a particular interest in you.
Well, Davino did also stand his ground a bit more firmly than you did. He looked like he was about to pull the trigger.
I cannot say.
Best I can.
Very unsettling.
Indeed.
In all my years,
you're-
I've not felt anything like that before.
It's true, you really haven't. That was kind of odd.
That is magic.
Well, excepting maybe the whole ghost ship thing. It may have been similar to that.
Well, that's
That
one of
felt
those
a bit
things
more natural, though.
you can't explain. And I guess there would be stories of ghost ships and such.
Yeah, but you probably don't even take those really into. Actually, you probably didn't take them seriously until that whole rumjack thing.
And I've seen a mermaid.
Merman.
There was that.
He was a Selkie, not a merman.
And Spencer insists that you guys had some encounter with a spider woman or something like that.
He wasn't there though. That was just me, Davino,
That's true.
Claude, and Randall, I think. And Claude went nope and climbed right the hell out of there as soon as some weird stuff happened. Davino passed out entirely, I think.
Yeah, there was some passing out in there.
And I think Randall just curled up in a ball or something. Yeah.
You've had some strange experiences. At any rate, how do you plan to proceed at this point?
I don't know
You
if I
still
want to
got
go to a party.
you got a couple of hours before Roger said the dinner was.
Hayden will probably have a drink, try and internalize what just happened, and then get ready for the party.
I'm going to flip through Davino's journal to see if there's any sketches of the woman and or the dude,
All right.
and make my own notes in my journal about the craziness. I'm not sure if I want to go to the party.
Well, it's up to you, I guess.
Yeah. But it
Claude
does sound-
hears. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, that's fine.
As soon as Claude hears the word party and anything involving a social gathering, Claude is going to attempt to make himself very scarce.
All right. Let's see. So a little bit later, Payne is going to show up, and he was apparently looking for Claude.
I'm gonna ask Dora if she wants to go to this stupid thing.
Dora's just shown up with the armload of, well, not an armload. She's shown up with her laundry, which is basically one dress.
Right. She needs more clothes.
Well,
Actually,
she's never complained about it.
Multiple of this probably are like, realistically, we probably only do have like one or two changes of clothes.
Well, yeah, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
What were you going to ask her?
If she is, if she wanted to go to this thing.
Oh, so you tell her there's a dinner thing. She's
Apparently,
like,
there's
shrug.
a dinner thing, and Sir Randall wanted everybody to go, but after the weirdness on the beach with the strange woman and the big ugly guy emitting fear and crabs, I'm not sure if I am particularly enthusiastic about going. However, if you wish to, I can accompany you.
She's like, shrug.
That's an interesting response. It's a rather non-committal response. Is that a yes? A no? Another shrug.
Shrug. Then she looks at you and then makes this little spider hand thing and gives you that, huh?
Oh, the crabs. Strange woman on the beach. I think she used magic on us.
She's like, shocked face.
Shocked Pikachu face. It was
So
quite frightening.
how
Very, very
thoroughly is Sir Randall looking for Claude?
Oh my god, I'm reminded of the first episode of Spy X Family where Anya is playing hide and seek and Lloyd is trying, it's like, there! That was a question to you, Mark.
Say again?
How thoroughly is
Exactly.
Sir Randall looking for Claude?
Well, if I'll ask if anyone's seen Claude, and if Claude's not immediately available, I'll be like, well,
Guess not.
and then
let's see. I don't know.
why do you look like you've just run, a half mile?
Because there were evil spellcasters or warlocks or something.
Maybe mermen.
And one of them was really tall and scary
Yeah.
looking, and he made a bunch of us run away. And then there was a woman who, made crabs attack us.
Hoops down there because he had to get a couple of drinks after that, and he's like, "It was your merman again."
I don't think it was the Selkie.
Another merman?
Not a merman. It's a Selkie.
Two of them. One of them was a woman.
So, wow, really? Where? See? And it's like, I knew they existed. I didn't think they were always so, bold about it, though. Can you describe them?
Actually, that does come to mind.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, you
They
can.
have some drawing. They now have they have some pictures in the journal.
He'll point at this woman. This woman is
No, I don't think so. I think she was a
Well,
spellcaster,
I was like,
a witch, perhaps. I make sure, and I'm conveniently going to have to say that, or where Margaret
Right.
can hear it.
But this woman has some dealing with our ever-present friend Ned Long, who's here, by the way. If I haven't passed this information along,
Didn't you shoot
Actually, I
him
don't
once?
think he did.
I did shoot him. But apparently all the rumor of his death is greatly exaggerated because he's
Did
out
any of
and
the other
about.
PCs see him this time?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
this time?
This time, yeah.
No.
Well,
Okay,
Claude
so-
did. Claude did.
Damn it! Damn
Claude
it!
has
That's frustrating because, otherwise we would
Right.
be. I could be convinced that Randall is full of crap because he was the only one that saw Ned the second time after he had shot him.
Yes, and he
But
played that. And
Claude's
he's
not here, so I'm gonna look
Still
at him and
skeptical.
go, "Are you all right? Are you sure you're not imagining things, Sir Randall?"
Well, Inara saw it too, and this woman,
she's not
she's
here
involved
either.
with him somehow. But you saw this woman. I've seen this woman too.
Yeah, NRA will confirm. Yeah, that's
She's not
pretty
here.
good
Not here.
representation.
She's
Oh,
not
right,
here,
she's not. She totally did that telepathically.
Wow.
But this woman, there's something going on between her and Ned, and he played that whole "I don't know you and I don't know anything" thing again.
I wonder if he's dead and he was raised by someone. Perhaps this woman. No, probably not this woman. I'll have to do some more research.
Wizards can raise the dead. Don't you know that the Inquisition's around? Talking about wizards and spells is probably not the best thing to do
Well, as
in
long
the
as you're
current
talking
moment.
about it in reference to someone else.
Oh, yes. You think
Well,
he's a
his
wizard?
woman. No, I think she was a witch.
Like with a pointy hat?
They don't necessarily have to wear a pointy hat, do they?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not the expert here, Mr. Dr. Spencer.
Well, neither am I. Maybe we should talk to this Inquisition fellow.
All right, well,
That would lead to an interesting conversation. Like,
Wouldn't
wait,
it?
why are you asking about witches? Well, I ran into a strange woman, and I'm curious whether she fits the criteria.
at this point, you guys are filling each other in on the day's events and putting pieces together.
Wait,
Oh,
why
and
meanwhile-
are you
Palanti's not
looking?
back yet?
No, everybody's here except
Oh,
Claude.
and-
Why are you looking for Claude or Mr.
Oh.
LaCroix?
Well, it occurs to me that I might need a Batman or a lackey. Well, actually, it's a good interesting question. A lackey is French,
A
not
la-
British, though.
Right,
Lackey
okay.
is French, not British, right?
Possibly.
So, and Mr. Palangi, there was an interesting fellow that I've been recently introduced to who is quite interested about your unique firearm.
Which
It's not for sale. He can't have it.
Well, I mean, I have no idea if that's entirely what, but he did seem to allude that he is more interested in seeing it and seeing that it, confirming its existence, if that makes sense.
I think authenticity is probably a better word I should have used.
There you go. Yes, authenticity, less his desire to say purchase said firearm. But I'm sure that if you were interested in some said coin, he may be interested in. He seems to be not necessarily loose with the coin, but willing to pay for said information information and tales of interesting things. A collector, if you will.
That sounds suspicious.
I didn't say I did not confirm that you were a part of my crew, nor did you have this thing. I figured I'd make sure you were aware.
No,
I do appreciate that, sir, and I don't believe I'm too inclined to discuss the matter with this man. I feel there's.
Well, if you do decide to change your mind, I would most gladly go with you, because he does have a trove of rather interesting artifacts that I would love or be quite interested into perusing while you discuss your amazing firearm.
There There were some very strange guns in there.
Oh, yes. And he did seem to have a collection of rather other interesting firearms as well.
That's awfully tempting. I do believe that might prove somewhat swaying. Perhaps I will venture out to see him after all.
So at this point, I would like to identify who all is going to the dinner. Is
Hayden,
Rogers going to the dinner?
Rogers is going to the dinner. He's gone back to his room to get himself
Right.
ready.
Hayden's going.
Yes.
Claude is not.
Correct.
Claude's a ninja.
Spencer is not.
He can possibly be talked into it and or strong-armed by Sir Randall, but he's not enthusiastic about doing so,
Is Sir Randall going to strong arm him?
simply because I'm not much of a party goer.
Well,
Actually, I say that. I do have 2 points in carousing, but that's from my college years. Wait, British. University years.
is Sir Randall going to convince Spencer to go?
Yes, of course. Oh, come with us, Mr. Spencer. We've been on a ship for the last week. It'd be great to go and stretch our legs and enjoy food that is not necessarily cooked by, well, each other.
Hmm.
Especially Palanche's food.
Hey, I
There's
actually
nothing
have
wrong with-
cooking.
All right, Palanche, you going.
Yes.
Next question. What are you taking with you and what are you wearing?
Yeah, it's like I don't have clothes for this. I just have my single clothes, what I normally wear.
You got what you got, yeah.
Yep.
Most of you don't have any choices there. Rogers is the only one that has an actual other suit, excepting Payne, who's got some extras.
I'm sure I have a jacket or something that you can wear. And besides,
I
I'm
already have a
sure
jacket.
you'd love to interact with who I'm sure everyone would be interested in meeting again, Mr. Bonsignard.
Oh God, no! Why would I want to talk to him? He's French. And
Didn't
Claude,
say
Well, he
talk
wasn't-
to him.
hey,
He wasn't
there
mentioned
he
in the
is.
letter.
There's Claude.
He wasn't mentioned, but I'm quite certain that this individual probably will exist there because this is how Randall thinks, especially when he knows he hasn't been. It's like there's only one other person that I know that would play these kinds of games, and it is a well played game.
But more importantly than the outfits, which I could presume, what are you taking with you? Are you arming yourself or sorting yourself?
I will probably. I'm guessing it's not unheard of to carry a sword.
No, wearing a sword is normal.
And
far as I know
then
still.
having a gun belt.
And in fact, Sir Randall wearing a rapier around here is a lot more fitting, given that these are Spanish.
Yeah. So I'll have the rapier, and if a gun belt is not a faux pas, I'll have that.
I don't know. I'm kind of assuming it's not a big deal.
I think probably wearing a dress sword of some kind would be appropriate for a soiree, but I think packing a big ass flintlock pistol, not so much.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think the firearm is like, what? No, that's not right. That's not a gentleman's weapon.
Guess that depends on the gun.
I do have the very nice.
Case,
Yep.
he does have that.
I do have the fancy.
Hayden will only have his sword.
It is more of a.
Well, I didn't forget my sword.
And Rogers will bring his spadroon.
All right.
You just like saying that word, don't you?
Spadroon.
It is fun to say.
Spadroon
Spadroon.
by L'Oreal.
All right. Given the day's events thus far, is Davino going to go fetch anything?
Is the collector man expecting to be there?
Is who?
Whom?
The collector.
This I
No.
don't know.
No. Okay. If then,
I did make it I did make him aware that it was for a party. So, but he didn't mention that he was going to be there.
okay. Divino he doesn't have just a proper pistol, so he'll probably just carry the knife and, it's close enough to a sword, and let that be that.
All right. Then let's do this way. So a little more time will pass. You guys will gather what you need to gather. I'm guessing Rogers, at the very least, is going to have to go back to the ship and grab his suit. That won't take that long. Oh, I completely forgot that, the sky is cleared right around midday, and it's actually been pretty nice, warm. So that the water's not too choppy sailing back and forth to the ship. And you guys will head on to the appointed place. In the meantime, Rigel has buggered off.
Rigel.
Ding him one character point.
I heard him say something.
Yeah, do you need something from me?
You're about to be on deck. All right.
Right. Well, I'm just standing here next to my fridge doing something, so I can hear you. Just have to little extra
Sorry.
effort to do that. So you can go ahead and start and say whatever.
Oh, there it is. I had misplaced my notes. Okay. So what is Spencer going to do in the meantime? So he's just going to sit around.
No, like I said, he's going to probably double check make sure those people aren't like I don't know, immortal vampire like things in the thing. He's making notes and images. I guess he's gonna have to break out the brush and like brush down his stupid clothes.
Yeah, that's true. So he's back in his room then, I guess.
I suppose.
Seems reasonable. All right. Dora has been back and forth, just doing stuff, probably eating or something. And she happens to be out of the room at the moment when you get a knock on the door.
Oh dear. Okay. I will answer the door, not thinking anything of it because I'm absent-minded.
Why would you?
Indeed. And it's going to be the tall guy, isn't it? Or the strange woman here to eat me.
Damn it, all my stuff is out of order.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It does. You open the door and are met by a woman you do not know.
Oh no, it's the Flash's daughter.
No, it isn't.
Ah, yeah. May I help you, ma'am?
And she...
Probably in Spanish because, well, this is Spanish land.
That's true.
Hey, look, both of them say strange woman.
And she smiles back at you and says, "Well, I see you made." "Well, I see you've made it this far, kid. Have you found out anything yet?"
Okay. So let's see. How's he going to react to this? Because I see what you're doing there.
She, while you're processing that, she kind
he's
of
going to probably
walks
pause
past into the room and.
Cassandra.
Well, you're still sharp, I can see. As
You're
she
looking quite well.
She pulls a long pipe out and strikes it up. Says, "I was just passing through. Thought I'd check up on you, see how you were getting along."
Confused, but advanced. Things are progressing, and he's absolutely gonna start telling about the weird crap that he saw on the beach.
As you're sort of chattering, says, she kind of interrupts you. Says, "See, you haven't solved your bird problem. Quiet, you."
Oh, I wish
Suddenly
you
your
could
mind
stay
is at peace
around.
again.
I wish you could stay around more, or I could learn that trick. Oh, the other thing he's going to probably bring up. Let's see. Hold on. Let me check the absent-minded trivial detail test. And that is
It's not applicable right
3.
now.
Well, no, I know, but I'm thinking beforehand.
Oh, right.
So
Gotcha.
he's going to extract that ring, the Memento Mori ring thing,
Mm-hmm.
from his jacket pocket and mention Mr. Rush. And since I had determined that when I went back and looked, she never spoke of Rush when I first interacted with her. So I wasn't sure how that was, whether we were like retconning that or what.
Okay.
Or BSG sort of thing where it's like previously on and you show a scene that never actually happened because it was a cut scene.
I am willing to cut that content a little and say that she did not, that more correctly, Spencer did not bring up Rush before, so then Spencer would not have asked Rush about her.
Right. Okay. Well, he's going to ask her about him now, including, hey, this weird fellow that I suspect might be a fairy.
So
Give me
is
this
Spencer
and
just
pointing me to that.
going to hand her the ring?
He will offer it to her. Yeah, I have no idea if she's going to take it. Is she going to be like, "Don't tempt me, Frodo"?
So, sort of
can
at
I
the same time,
Bilbo?
you're
Turn my hand and it just goes pong and hits the ground.
you have this. I have this ring that, and while you're talking, you're sort of giving it to her, so she hasn't had that second to process. And you say something about, and I got this from a man named Damian Rush. And as the ring touches her hand,
Oh
she
dear.
jerks back like you just slapped her in the face and drops it
And it
and
does a one
looks
ring
at you
land.
in horror and says, Mon Dieu, what have you done?
I don't know. What have I done? You people won't tell me anything.
Now he knows where we are.
Well, he hasn't had any problem finding me before.
I don't mean you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would help if I understood what was going on.
It's not your fault. That just means we'll have to be more careful from now on.
Who is we, if you don't mind?
Says, I am a member of an order seeking to help humanity determine its own destiny, not be slaves to the designs of supernatural forces. We call it the Order of Reason.
That sounds like a good thing. How does one go about joining such an order?
The order typically comes
Sounds
to
pretty
you.
reasonable.
Have reasonable rates. Oh, well. And Rush, who is he? Who does he represent?
Well, let's see. So, well, I
Clearly,
I
you know
don't
who
think
he is.
I don't think I need to tell you not to trust him at this point.
I didn't trust him beforehand. Too much of a brainiac.
At this point in the process, you start to realize you've got that ice cream headache again, and
Right. So magic.
you
Probably gonna look at her and go, "Is that you?"
you get the sense, that same sort of sense that you had when you were with Mr. Rush before, like you're looking at a reversed mirror.
Is that you or is that him?
And she looks back at you and sort of doesn't quite understand the question and says, if you use a focus, that would help with the pain.
Oddly enough, he said much the same thing.
Did he now?
But I'm still in the process of doing that. What kind of focus is good here? Maybe like a magnifying glass, a monocle. I need to get a monocle.
She says water is often good focus, but not always
Monocle made of
available.
water.
Crystal, perhaps? It depends on the individual, and it depends on your techniques. What works for some people doesn't work for others. You may have to experiment a little bit to find out. As for Mr. Rush, you say, well, too
That's how
much
he
knowledge.
introduced himself.
Too much knowledge too quickly for a man like yourself could be like giving a child a keg of gunpowder in one hand and a slow match in the other.
Spencer is going to sigh very, very deeply and go again with the riddles. That never helps anyone.
The day may come, she says with a smile, where you're the one giving out the riddles, and you'll understand.
Right. It's like, wait, what's an addicting? Is opium around? Opium's around at this time
Oh,
period,
yeah.
isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's known to be addictive.
Haydn is on
remember.
laudanum himself.
Because I'm trying to figure out how I would 1720s the quote, one of the quotes from the Dresden Files, where it's like, oh, you like to keep secrets. It's like, oh, it's like crack for wizards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yeah, what would that be?
I have no idea. Insert the equivalent of it's
Right.
like crack for wizards, isn't it?
And she'll respond to that big smile, say, "You don't know the half of it, kid."
Because nobody will tell me.
She turns around toward the door to walk out, says, you may need to rescue your friend. Sorry about that. And
Which
walks
one?
off.
Which friend? Totally sticking my head out, and she's totally gone, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
Down the hall a bit, you see Dora, and she is sort of reeling back from this gentleman of some sort, young guy, who is on one knee in front of her. Sounds like he's reciting poetry in Spanish.
You
And
know,
Dora
I'm
looks
gonna.
very confused.
I am absolutely gonna go approach there and start translating it in Dutch,
Yeah, she'll snicker at that.
and then apologize to the fellow and say, it's like, I'm sorry, my companion here is unable to understand your language, and sadly, she cannot speak either. I will pass on your positive vibes to her.
The man is very smitten, and he you get the feeling you're going to see this guy again.
I have to tell her in Dutch. It's like, you seem to have a fan.
She'll just look at you like, "Huh?" In the meantime, I gotta find my stuff. The rest of you, excepting Claude, go to
She's
the
totally hiding
appointed
something.
to the appointed address. As the sun is in the process of going down, looking something like so.
That doesn't look like the sun's going down. That looks like the sun's like
Shush!
midday. You should have like
Sun
changed
is
the
going
lighting.
down. It's just
Come
going
on,
down over there.
come on, GM.
And you approach the gate, the lot of you, and
Surrounded by monkeys in suits.
oh, and in Aragatter dress. It's acceptable. You realize it was a rush job, so you're not too terribly fussed about it. But yeah. And
Just
as
totally gonna be
you
like, what? No, I can't
as
afford
you-
to get one of those.
as the two of you departed, the seamstress, did you intend for her to make a real one?
If she could make a dress,
Yeah, so if you had intended for her to make a real one, then she's got all the measurements and everything. She says, yeah, come back later tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, and she'll have the new one created, and it'll be a much better job. She recognizes that this was a rush job and is not exactly 100% presentable, but it'll do for now. So you guys approach the gate. The doorman or the gate man asks who you are.
present the invitation.
You present the invitation and say,
It's gonna be
very well, you were
fake, isn't
expected,
it?
Sir
Okay, good.
Rendell.
And party.
And party. And he counts everybody and says, come with me. And he will take you into this is a very nice place. Not huge, but very nice. And very Spanish, by the way. And actually, Campeche is apparently very colorful. So that yellow is that yellow.
As well, it should be.
You are taken through the place, and you arrive at a pair of doors where he is about to
Crap.
open them.
going to open the door, and Darth Vader's going to stand up and say, "We'll be honored if you would join us."
And he asked how you would like to be announced.
Well, I would
Motherfucker.
give him my proper title, along with the rank of Rogers. Rank
Actually, yeah,
of
you are
Hayden,
baronet still.
and then position of doctor.
You make it
or
nice
as
and long.
doctor.
Baronet?
Yeah, I thought he was baronet.
Yeah.
And
Technically, it should be Baronet Sir Randall.
yeah, and
Right.
then Master. Would it be Master Pelage or Mister? Mister,
Oh,
because
okay.
Master is for youth, right?
Mr. Planche would be fine in his case, I think.
And then Master LaCroix.
Not there.
Oh, not there. That's right.
Master is, in this case, would
For
be
youth.
it would be used for nobles who do not have an actual title, like the son of a, like. Well, so I
Gotcha.
guess technically that would be correct if you introduce Claude as master, but it would be like Master Payne, not LaCroix.
Right.
Yep.
Dun
Mhm.
dun dun.
So the butler, or whoever it actually is being very attentive, tries to track all that down. He looks like he's got it, and then
Good butler will get it first try.
he opens the doors, and you see before you, as the man is
Darth Vader.
introducing you all, you see
Oh no!
Whoa, no, we're all
Mr. Reed,
done.
I present, and with him is
Double oh no!
Oh, I was expecting Maurice, and I'll be like,
So
Maurice.
Mr. Reed absolutely needs to do the. We would be honored
hang on,
if you would join us.
hang on, and Mr. Reed, as the instructions or the introductions end, Mr. Reed raises a glass to you, as does Maurice, and he says, "And we would be honored if you would join us." Cut to black.
Oh,
Cue the music.
pleasure is
But,
Roll
mine.
credits.
but Randall's supposed to draw his pistol and shoot a couple times.
No, that's only if it was what's his name, it might have happened. He recognizes
Yeah, if it was
the
Ned Long, that would have. Yeah, he would
Yeah.
have pulled right there.
No, it just
Yeah.
occurs to me that I absolutely need one of those situations where Randall is traveling around with Claude and meets some dude, and the guy looks at Claude and is like, "Ah, your son, sir?" And it's like as long
Mhm.
as long as Spencer is present, Spencer will go absolutely.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm amazed I got through that in a relatively organized manner, but never mind that.
It
One
is
character
really
point.
colorful there in Campeche.
Oh yeah, I know.
Or Campeche. I'm like wandering the streets on Google Earth and Google
Mhm.
Maps, and I'm like, holy cow, yeah, it is. It's
Well,
color
that's
all over the
also
place.
one of those where it's like they sort of presume everything was mud colored back in the day. It's like, come
Well,
on,
that's
man.
another matter, but yeah, apparently the Campeche's only claim to fame is being attacked by pirates 11 billion times. Anyway, yeah, one character point for everybody. Stability, you guys had enough rest time that you could recover those short terms, and you guys did not gain any long term from your fright checks, so you're okay. And that is gonna be it for that part. So, bennies. Who gets bennies today?
I
Any
like to think
recommendations?
that those who encountered the wizardy types should made it interesting and kind of funny.
That's true, they did kind of. Any other recommendations or a second?
I am thinking, and it hurts my brain. Yeah, I don't have any additional thoughts there.
So be it then. One for Rogers, one for Hayden, one for Spencer, one for Palanche.
Yay, I'm up to 2.
And yeah, so I don't think I have any other business to do. Oh, right. There is one business thing to do. Brian's not going to be here next week. This is still the case? Question?
That is still the case.
Yes. So I am not going to run next week. I probably could. I know we've gone without him before, but in this case, I really need to catch up. So,
Which
yeah, I'm going to
means
take
he's not
advantage
going
of
to
it.
do anything all week. And then he's
Nope,
gonna
I'm going to
panic
be doing
next
stuff
week.
all damn week.
That's a lie. I've known you for too long to know how it actually works.
You lie.
Yeah, so we are going to take a bye next week, unless somebody wants to chime in with a one shot somewhere.
You can always
That is
trust
up
your
to you
friends
guys.
to dob you in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Daniel was griping that I'm still giving him crap for stuff that he said 20
Mhm.
plus years ago in gaming. I mean, it's just D&D.
Yeah.
It's not like it's involved or anything.
Mm-hmm. Never hear the end of it.
Never ever. I'm gonna have
All
to
right.
come up with something like that to harass, Andricus for bailing on me last night.
Anybody
It's
got
just
any
Warhammer.
last minute stuff here?
It's not like it's involved.
No.
No, I don't have any.
Long story, man. Long story. All right. Well, then, if you are watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Like and subscribe and all that. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
The regular heckling isn't very
Goodbye.
helpful.
Bye.
Spadroon.
Spitcher.
But